Jimenita Swain, and the Bahama Beauty. At the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, from Studio A. It all starts right now.
Hello and welcome everyone. You're tuned into the ultimate destination for all things lifestyle, entertainment, and everything in between. I'm Jimenita Swain and you're watching What's Trending, the show where we bring you the latest trends, hottest news, and insider tips on living your best life. Whether you're here for the fashion, food, fitness, or the latest buzz from social media, we've got you covered. Let's dive in because we have to get to so much. Hands off is basically the position of Panama's president when it comes to the Panama Canal. He has rejected a plan by President Donald Trump to, quote, take back the Panama Canal, stating that the key trade route is and will remain in that country's holdings. During his inauguration speech, President Donald Trump claimed Panama broke a promise to remain neutral, alleging that China is operating the canal. However, President Jose Raul Mulino rejected Trump's words in their entirety, saying no presence of any nation in the world interferes with its administration. Also, I'm sure you've heard about the Internet Movie Database, or IMDb. Well, could you believe after 35 years, its founder, Cole Needham, is stepping down from the position of CEO. His successor will be Nikki Santoro, who served as the Chief Operating Officer since 2021. A key move for Santoro, as she's the first woman to become the CEO and only the second person to hold the position. And superbugs resistant to antibiotics, a health problem that needs a global solution. In fact, in the world, nearly 5 million people succumb to antimicrobial resistant infections each year. Officials say antimicrobial infections will rise by 70%, estimating 40 million deaths between now and 2050. But there's a solution, albeit a surprising one. Oysters. New research published in PLOS One show that antimicrobial proteins isolated from the equivalent of oyster blood kill certain bacteria responsible for a range of infections. As for what's coming up in the show today, the power of quirky one-liners. Here are some iconic one-liners that may make you stop in your tracks. And I'm going to show you some tantalizing scents to stimulate the senses and your pockets. That and so much more just up after the break.
Good to grow, keeping you in the know, keeping you in the know. God, it's good enough to eat, then it's good to grow. It's good enough to eat, then it's good to grow.
Meet Agriculture Extension Officer Ariana Knowles. She recently returned from a seminar all the way in China on international trade for agricultural products.
The seminar was for 21 days. There was about 19 participants from 7 different countries. There was 2 participants from the Bahamas. Me and another person was selected to attend the seminar.
During the seminar, the group visited 4 cities in China where they toured a number of factories and farms.
Well, the most interesting company for me was a poetry production. It was a company called Nanyang Food Co. And they basically do breeding. They do breeding, boiler production, and from like the chicken farms and stuff like that, they use like the waste from, not the chicken farms, the waste from like the factory. They use that to like make fertilizers and stuff like that.
And with gaining a wealth of knowledge in this seminar, here's what Knowles thinks we can implement here in the Bahamas to improve the agricultural sector.
Adopt modern farming technology, enhance education and training to farmers, like workshops on sustainable farming practices, pest management, and technology use. Also invest in irrigation systems, which will be very useful to many farmers so they don't have to depend on weather conditions to get water for their farms.
Keeping you in the know with Good to Grow, I'm Leah Cooper.
Today is One-Liners Day. One-Liners Day celebrates the art of the quick, witty, and often cheesy joke that's designed to get a laugh or at least a groan. Whether you're a fan of the dad jokes, puns, or clever one-liners, today's the day to share your favorites. And we have some funny facts about this quirky day. Did you know that one-liners have been around for centuries? Famous comedians, playwrights, and even politicians have used them to entertain and engage audiences. Here are a few classic one-liners to get you in the spirit of the day.
I'll be back.
He turns to me and he says, "Why so serious?"
Madness. This is Sparta!
How do you know this?
That's what I do. I drink and I know things.
Stupid dog! You made me look bad!
Well, we could not tell you about this day without reminding you of some Bahamian one-liners dropped on us throughout the years by some notable people in society. Starting off the list, Mr. Junkanoo himself, Jay Sarge, also known as War Daddy. In 2018, War Daddy shook the Bahamas with this iconic promo. You need to see it for yourself. Take a look.
War Daddy in the place. Look up. December 1. Burns out. When Route 3 cut down, Moss, we can sell it right down. Route 2 another in the place. True God strike, we will be out in great numbers. All right, and we 800 million.
Well, this next iconic video will go down in history as a new way to ask if someone is home. In the video, you see a lady attempting to see if there are any occupants of a home present. Just take a look.
For the game, mister.
Yeah.
They there?
Yeah, someone home.
Call them, please.
They soon come. I'll call them again.
Anybody home?
I did they do.
Huh?
Would you say would the say it again? They must be near what you saying.
Anybody home with the dog cry?
Well, the broadcast legend, the late Darrell Miller, has given us so many one-liners, but we have to highlight this one in particular. 2012 election night, while the ZNS Network's live coverage, Mr. Miller seems to stumble on DNA candidate for Carmichael's name, Theophanis Cuchamangolis.
Polling division number 3, the DNA's candidate is Theophanis Cuchamangolis. Theophanis Cuchamangolis.
And lastly, our very own general manager will go down in history for his Just Road campaign.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing? Yes, we have strict instructions.
From who?
From who? From our supervisors.
Who's the supervisor?
From police control room.
Police control room.
The name so we can call them.
Yes.
They want no witnesses, no footage taken at this time.
We're not shooting the people. We're just standing here.
Madam, regardless.
Your supervisor, sir, needs to come to me and tell me that, and tell me which law we are breaking, because we are not interrupting the shelter. This sidewalk here, is a public sidewalk. This is a public sidewalk. We are not violating any law in this country. And your job is to uphold the law. And if you cannot tell me what law we are breaking, then we are not moving. And you tell your supervisor I said that. And I'm being very respectful about it. We are not, this is not the shelter. That is the shelter.
Why you come over here?
Because let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. We are not interrupting nobody's grief. We have a job to do. Don't you have a job to do as a law enforcement officer?
So what's your job?
My job
right
as a media is to report the story. We've been doing our coverage all week. What you're trying to tell me is stop doing my job because you're uncomfortable. These people are the ones who even want us here. You know why they want us here? They want us to tell their story. They want us to tell their story. Not one of those people, hold on, let me answer. Not one of those people there are being exploited, and not one of them are on our camera. This camera is covering me. Not one of those people are on our camera. Not one of them are being bombarded by us. Not one of them are being bothered by us. But you, sir, as law enforcement officer, are hindering me from doing my job. And that's a problem I have. You get your supervisor. I'll be right here.
Well, in the words of our GM, go get your supervisor. I'll be right here. With more after this break.
Here at Immigration Care Service, you can trust us, especially if you have experienced issues or problems with the U.S. immigration at the borders. We'll do our best to provide options and solutions to immigration roadblocks, so travelers can continue visiting the U.S. and residents can continue living their lives in the U.S. without worries. The best part? Our services are affordable and accessible. Take the mystery, confusion, and fear out of your immigration concerns. Contact Immigration Care Service today.
Hey, what's up, Mario?
Hey, Dale, what's going on?
Have you seen ZNS new digital platforms?
No. Let me go check it out.
Good day, Bahamas. I'm Devontae Hanna, and this is ZNS Digital,
where we cater to your news and entertainment needs. Are you a foodie? I thought so. Then look out for Digital Bites.
Shining a light on Bahamians and the good that they do, ZNS Digital is home to the sunshine room.
Keeping up with the latest trends, our original content will keep you entertained.
Yeah, that's cool.
But have you seen the new website?
No, I didn't see it. Let me go look.
We're still your most trusted source for news and information.
That's ZNS Digital?
Yeah, that's ZNS Digital, the people station in your pocket.
We know the pages of the calendar are peeling away the month of January, but have you ever wondered what are some of the most common New Year's resolutions? Well, according to Statista, who surveyed 1,050 Americans between the ages of 18 to 25 about their 2025 New Year's resolutions, and there were about 15 options with multiple selections. Now, while 2 in 5, or 43% of Americans said they weren't making a resolution, the majority of those who did had goals falling into one of 6 categories. Save more money comes in at 21%, 19% said they wanted to eat healthier, 17% said they wanted to exercise more, 15% said they wanted to lose weight, 14% said they wanted to spend time with family and friends, and 9% said they wanted to quit smoking. According to 2023 Forbes Health One poll survey, the average New Year's resolution lasts less than 4 months. The 2 and 3 month mark appeared the most common, each with 22% of respondents claiming to have committed to their resolutions for those periods of time. Well, despite the tradition of committing to a New Year's resolutions, giving up on them has become a tradition in itself. Quote, Critters Day is the second Friday in January, which fell on January 10th of this year, while Ditch New Year's Resolutions Day is always on January 17th. Well, we'll be right back after this break.
Hi, I'm Brent Burrows, Vice President of Retail and Sales at CBS Bahamas and the CBS Pro Store. Not only do we guarantee the best prices on all your favorite building materials, but we're proud to offer the best delivery program in all of Nassau. Whether you buy 1 box of screws or a truckload of plywood, island-wide delivery is just $5. And for our Family Island customers, we're proud to offer complimentary drop-off to the mailboat of your choice. Visit us today at the CBS Pro Store on Robinson Road and check out our website to set up your next delivery.
We're here at the Nassau Village Community Center project, where over the past 17 months, we've hired over 20 Bahamian subcontractors to bring this beautiful project to fruition.
I've been living in Nassau Village for more than 19 years, and to see a project like this bring great joy and pride to me.
This state-of-the-art multi-purpose community center will serve as a crime-fighting initiative in the community. Also help with the education of our kids in this community and a hurricane shelter.
Yeah, and it also shows what we as Bahamians can achieve when we work hand in hand with each other.
We have the technical know-how, and we can pretty much deliver on any project here in the Bahamas or in the world.
Bahamas Stripe and the Bahamian Company, they prove that they believe in Bahamians.
Based on the outcome of this project, I don't think they're disappointed in giving a small person an opportunity to do a job such as this.
The more opportunity they get, the more opportunity we will get.
If you look around and see the work done so far, it just shows what we as Bahamians can do.
Seeking a fresh floral breeze, a rich and exotic blend, or something that's uniquely you, the Perfume Bar has just what you need. Indulge in the art of scent, where every fragrance tells a story and every bottle is a memory waiting to be made. In studio, we have Shandy DeVoe from the Perfume Bar. Welcome back to What's Trending, Shandy. It's great to see you again.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Awesome. Well, I see you brought with us a few fragrances. How do you suggest we pair these perfumes?
Okay, so let's start with the Miss Dior, which is the new Perfume from Miss Dior. It's an intense floral fruity fragrance. And you can pair your fragrance with a lotion, a bath and shower gel, or a bath oil. And sometimes persons tend to pair them with a body mist from a different line.
So I see a lot of women like to do that whole layering experience. So what about if we use oil-based alcohol perfumes? Can those also be paired? Yes, you mentioned the lotions.
You can also pair your fragrance with a lotion or an alcohol base.
And what about the Sauvage?
Well, Sauvage, this is the Eau Forte, which is their new fragrance for men. And it's between an eau de toilette and a perfume. So it's alcohol-free, but it's very long-lasting.
And both
very mysterious.
And both of them are any kind of, or any time of the kind of scents that you can wear?
Yes, you can wear them any time of the day or night. The intensity of the Miss Dior, I prefer to wear it in the evening.
Especially with the cooler temperatures. You just pass by and people say, she smells good.
Of course.
So tell me about this Clarins Double Serum, and why do I need to add it to my skincare routine? Because while smelling good is awesome, your skin needs to look right.
Of course, you can't just smell good, you have to look good. You want to protect your skin from the environmental damages, and the age-controlled double serum will help you do that. It helps protect against the environment, it helps against nutrients, it has oxygenation, it helps to protect the skin against
obviously harmful chemicals that we would encounter from day to day.
It'll be the first treatment you'd use before you use your moisturizer. So you want to put that on first, and you want to rub it on your arm, and you want to pat it in until it dries, and then you go forward with your day cream and your night cream.
So it's a great addition.
It's a great addition.
And obviously one of the other things that Clarins has is this lip oil that I think has been very, very popular. So tell us what are the benefits of this? What I use in this lip oil for?
It's a comfort lip oil, and it's a tinted lip oil. They come in numerous of colors that you see on the packaging. And even all the young teenagers, they want it. Even the younger kids want it because it helps to nourish the skin, it hydrates, and it gives you a little plumping. And they want that nice, shiny gloss.
So I can wear it at any time, I guess?
You can wear it at any time.
And the plump is nice, because you know we already have full lips, but
that little extra.
Extra is always a good thing.
Of course.
It's always a good thing. Now, if we want to touch back a little bit on the Miss Dior and some of those notes that you said they are long-lasting, is this one of your very popular fragrances?
Yes, Dior on the whole is a very popular line. And actually, Dior has been around for numerous years. The Miss Dior created the first Miss Dior fragrance in 1947.
Wow.
So the trend there was to enhance women, you know, to enchant them, to bring them back into love again. So here ends a new addition to the line, the Perfume.
And obviously with the Sauvage, are there shower gels? Can these be paired with other? Is it a set, I should ask?
Sauvage has a complete skincare line for men. They have the shower gel, the deodorant spray, deodorant stick. They do an aftershave balm. So men can not only smell good, but they can take care of their faces as well.
Now we see this very sexy bottle on the end here. Talk to us about that.
Of course, the Good Girl. This one is the Very Good Girl. This is the in the collection of the Good Girl collection. The first Good Girl came out in 2016. And they said good girls like bad boys. So good girl also has to have a matching men.
So obviously talk to us about the notes that we would find in the Good Girl.
So it's a fruity floral fragrance as well. It has some lychee, some white pepper, a little bit of vanilla, and some vetiver, which is normally found in men's fragrances. But it also has some vetiver, so give it some longevity.
So is this good also for pairing if you want to pair it with other
as well, but you can pair it, but it's very good on its own.
Okay.
I love it on its own.
And what about
and then,
the man?
Of course, the matching bad boy. It's a mysterious, sensual fragrance, and it's loved by all. It also has shower gel and deodorant as well, so you can have it lasting, and you call it a layering effect.
So I see if you get the bad boy for your male friend, you probably want to hold him close.
Of course. And you know, Valentine's Day is coming up.
Yes.
So, you know, that's why I have that red shoe here. So guys, don't forget, come on in and get that red shoe for Valentine's Day.
Hint, hint. See, Shandy keeping y'all on lock. But talk to us about where we can find the Perfume Bar again.
The Perfume Bar is located on Bay Street, directly opposite Royal Bank. We are open from Monday to Fridays, 9 to Saturday, 9 to 5. We're open on Sundays from 9 to 3. And this month we're offering a monthly special, 10% off selected items store-wide. And every month we tend to offer a special for the local clientele especially.
And that's included on the sets and everything?
That's included on the sets and everything.
And did you mention that this has a deodorant in it?
Yes, it does.
Wow, is that different? Because I find like you usually would get the moisturizers and the lotions and the other elements, but a deodorant?
Yep, men like a deodorant. They want a shower gel and they want a deodorant. They want to layer their skin, so guess what? It keeps it to last longer on your skin.
Well, you can't beat that. That is a win-win. Well, if you're looking for the perfect gift, give the gift of fragrance or skincare from the Perfume Bar. There's so much more. We'll be right back.
Here at Immigration Care Service, you can trust us, especially if you have experienced issues or problems with the U.S. immigration at the borders. We'll do our best to provide options and solutions to immigration roadblocks, so travelers can continue visiting the U.S. and residents can continue living their lives in the U.S. without worries. The best part? Our services are affordable and accessible. Take the mystery, confusion, and fear out of your immigration concerns. Contact Immigration Care Service today.
Vaccines protect those we love the most, our children and our grandchildren. I vaccinated my children to protect them. Getting your child immunized can protect them against diseases like polio, measles, whooping cough, and others. So protect your child today by getting them immunized. My grandchildren are vaccinated. You should do the same. Vaccinate your children and your grandchildren and make sure they are safe.
Vaccines are essential for new and returning students. As you begin back-to-school preparations, ensure that your children's vaccinations are up to date. All vaccines are available at all public health clinics.
This message is brought to you by PAHO WHO, the Ministry of Health and Wellness, and USAID.
Did you know that if a fire starts in your home, you may have as little as 2 minutes to escape? Keep your family and home safe with these few fire safety preparation and prevention tips. Ensure that your home has working smoke detectors. They will alert you if there is smoke and fire in your home. Install a smoke detector on every level of your home, inside each bedroom and outside each sleeping area. Test smoke detectors every month and change the batteries every 6 months. Home fires can spread rapidly and every second counts. Create an escape plan and practice it with everyone in your home. Make sure everyone can safely escape in less than 2 minutes. Keep escape routes as clutter-free as possible so no one trips or falls on the way out during an emergency. In addition to smoke detectors, fire extinguishers is an important device to have on hand. To use a fire extinguisher, remember the acronym PASS. Pull the pin, aim the nozzle, squeeze the handle, and sweep from side to side at the base of the fire. We must all do our parts to ensure that our families and homes are safe in the event a fire occurs. On behalf of the Commissioner of Police, the Director of Fire Services, and all officers of the Fire Department, let's work together to help prevent fires, because fire safety is everyone's responsibility, and the life you save may be your own.
On Wednesday's show, we will have in studio our queen of the walk, Miss Chantal O'Brien. You know what? Maybe in 2025, we can all sashay through the aisles of the food store like it's nobody's business. Well, folks, that's all the time we have for today. A huge thank you to our incredible guests for sharing their insights and stories with us. As always, we'll be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. with more exciting guests, thought-provoking conversations, and a lot of laughs only on the ZNS network. See you later.
May the works that I have done speak for me. My lifelong desire has always been to invest in youth and our senior citizens whose shoulders we stand. The inspiration and empowerment of people fosters innovation, creativity, and future leadership. All great leaders know it is not only important to lead, but to encourage the next generations of leaders. My life has been based on my service to others and my community, whether in local government, the Royal Bahamas Police Force Reserves, and my commitment to education for over 20 years. As the City of Freeport Council's Chief Councillor, I led a team of councillors, and together we embarked on several initiatives that brought relief, assistance, and involvement to the residents of Freeport. We built and refurbished community parks, gave our residents access to beach through our road improvement projects. We distributed backyard farming kits, assisted with feeding programs, brought sports programs to communities, circulated solar light bulbs, implemented summer programs for kids, and of course, the jewel of our work was the formation of the island's first Emergency Operations Center for natural disaster. We tackled some of the most challenging projects and ventured where no man has dared to go. Our vision, people-centric. Our mantra, as the founder of Boy Scout, Sir Robert Baden-Powell said best, try to leave this world a little better than we found it. I would like to express my sincere gratitude for having been given the opportunity to serve you, the people of Central Grand Bahama, within the city of Freeport, and by extension, Grand Bahama, to our many partners who believed in our community work and supported us whenever we called. I say thank you. To my team, who not only saw the vision, but was a driving force in our success as a productive local government council. We did not always agree, but we were guided by standards and principles, but ensured the concerns of the people were heard and honored. I say to all new councillors who will lead this dynamic group in the city of Freeport, just remember why you were elected, and the people will remember you. I am committed to ensuring a smooth transition to my successor. To the residents of the city of Freeport, I know you and you know me. I am always available to you. The feats, the triumphs, and accomplishments, none of these would have been possible without God at the center. All that I am, all that I ever hope to be, I owe it all to our Lord Jesus Christ. I am Frazette Isadora Ballard Gibson, Chief Councillor for the City of Freeport, Board Member for the Commonwealth Local Government Forum, and Chairperson for Women in Local Government Network for all Commonwealth countries. My work here is done. I end where I began, May the work that I have done speak for me. God bless each and every one of you, and God bless the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
At Rusty Bethel Drive, I'm Paisol Forbes. This is ZNS.
This is the Bahamas Tonight. The Northern Edition has a look at stories making news tonight. Officials make final preparations for local government elections. Also, a Bahamian ambassador and a U.S. politician weigh in on Trump administration's impact. And later, advocates for women's rights reiterate the message of no means no.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
Need to bring with them a voter's card, in the absence of a voter's card, a government-issued ID.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thanks for tuning in. Topping news, officials are making final preparations for this year's local government elections that will see local government councils elected across Grand Bahama and the Family Islands to serve 3-year terms. Polls are set to open promptly at 8 a.m. on Thursday. In the exercise that the City of Freeport administrator says puts governance in the hands of locals. Cleopatra Murphy has tonight's top story.
The moment of truth is near for candidates who recently nominated for local government elections as Grand Bahama residents prepare to head to the polls. For those looking to cast ballots, City of Freeport Administrator Preston Cooper says they must bring critical documents.
They need to bring with them a voter's card, in the absence of a voter's card, a government-issued ID. That is either a driver's license or the government-issued national insurance NIB card.
Residents from the east to the west will be choosing the candidate of their choice in the elections held every 3 years. Cooper details the various polling stations for voters.
In the central Grand Bahama area, polling divisions 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7A, Mary Patricia. St. George's High School will be polling division 8, 12, and 14. Lewis Yard Primary School will be in polling division 11A and 13A.
In the Pine Ridge District, voters can cast their ballots at Hugh Campbell Primary, Jack Hayward Junior High, the YMCA, Tabernacle Baptist, St. Paul's Methodist, Pro Cathedral of Christ the King, and Central Church of God. For Marco City, polling divisions include Freeport Gospel School, Jack Hayward Senior High, Mary Star of the Sea School, Bishop Michael Eldon, and Sunland Baptist Academy, while City of Freeport East Grand Bahama divisions are Freeport Primary, Walter Parker Primary, and Maurice Moore Primary. Cooper is appealing to residents to take the time to vote.
It is very, very important. And that is why I encourage everyone to take the time out and go out and cast a ballot for a candidate of their choice that they feel have their community at heart and wants to move not only the community, but wants to move the whole purpose of local government forward. It's all about impacting the communities.
Local government elections are set for Thursday. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Cleopatra Murphy.
In other news, the return of Donald Trump to the U.S. presidency is reigniting discussions about its impact to the Bahamas, particularly in areas such as climate change policy, immigration reform, and international relations. While the Trump administration has already taken steps to withdraw from the Paris Agreement and reduce climate change funding, Bahamas ambassador to the United States, His Excellency Wendell Jones, appearing on the rundown with Clint Watson in Washington, expressed optimism, suggesting that some changes may not considerably impact the nation.
The golden age of America begins right now.
A change in the U.S. administration is sparking conversations about its potential impact on the Bahamas.
Donald Trump has been president before, and the Bahamas fared well.
His Excellency Wendell Jones, Bahamas ambassador to the United States, expressed his belief that the shift may not bring significant changes.
Now that he's the 47th president, I'm sure things are going to be pretty much the same.
On his first day back in office, President Donald Trump signed a series of executive orders, and White House representatives say plans aimed at removing the United States from the Paris Agreement and cutting funding for climate change are in motion. Prime Minister Philip Davis, a strong advocate for climate action, has been vocal about the importance of such funding. Congresswoman Maxine Waters criticized the move.
And we just have to do everything that we can to fight that.
Temporary protected status, TPS, is another area of concern. Waters voiced her opposition to potential changes under the Trump administration, which could make it more difficult for Bahamians to access temporary protections in the aftermath of disasters like Hurricane Dorian. In 2019, TPS played a crucial role for many Bahamians whose homes and livelihoods were destroyed.
But I support temporary status for those whose lives are in danger, for where the countries are being overwhelmed.
Waters also shared her disapproval of Trump's decision to appoint Herschel Walker as ambassador to the Bahamas, while some, including media mogul William Armstrong, support the nomination.
The nominee for the Bahamas is not one that I support. And of course, there are those who would have questions about the way that he's conducted himself when he ran for office.
This ambassador will be confirmed. You've got an ambassador. That shows respect. It shows you that the importance. Work with this new ambassador and build a better relationship between the two countries.
Immigration reform is another pressing issue. Ambassador Jones, however, reassures Bahamians, saying there is little cause for concern.
There's a small number of Bahamians in the United States who are here illegally. The vast majority of them are here legally. Now, the problem that we have is the poaching of Bahamians by the American authorities. They take our nurses, they take our medical professionals. So we would want them to look again at the extent to which they are really affecting adversely the economy of the Bahamas.
Well, the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas is taking a major step forward in its expansion to Grand Bahama Island. In this report, our Raven Davis takes us inside a cocktail reception held Monday evening, where Commission officials worked alongside Grand Bahama leaders to drive this new growth and strengthen the local industry.
The Insurance Commission of the Bahamas hosting a cocktail reception here at Pelican Bay Resort. Now, the event attracting industry stakeholders and other invited guests who heard first-hand information about the Commission's initiatives over the past year, along with major expansion plans for Grand Bahama Island.
We've been really Nassau-centric for far too long. We recognize what Grand Bahama brings to the insurance industry, and when we talk about job opportunity, again, it is about ensuring that Grand Bahamians are also given the opportunity to be in the insurance industry here.
The expansion is set to roll out over the next 3 to 6 months, but beyond networking and cocktails, Munnings Gray says the focus was on talent acquisition.
So initially we're looking about 6 to 10 individuals, but we do imagine that it will expand beyond that, because we imagine that this in Grand Bahama will service our northern region.
ICB Deputy Commissioner Dwayne Mortimer reinforced that the ICB's role extends well beyond regulation, and in a forward-looking announcement, the Commission revealed a new partnership with Cambridge University and the Bahamas Institute of Financial Services to launch a new program on January 25th.
This mandate includes ensuring that we have the proper framework in place to, one, make sure that all protection gaps are dealt with, to make sure that we are on the cutting edge as it relates to technology and industry advances.
Parliamentary Secretary at the Ministry for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Kingsley Smith, welcoming the good news while leaving the Commission with a charge to protect consumers and their rights.
I would hope that your presence combats the negative narratives, that your presence promotes good business practices, that your presence protects consumers where their rights and interests are concerned, that your presence develops insurance consciousness, if not in existence yet.
with the event ending on a high note with a lively Junkanoo rush out by the Swingers Junkanoo group. Attendees enjoyed complimentary food and drinks and took full advantage of the networking opportunities. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Raven Davis.
Switching gears now, in the wake of recent sexual assaults on Grand Bahama, local authorities and advocates are reiterating the critical message that no means no, no matter the circumstance. The surge in cases has sparked renewed discussions on consent, urging the community to stand firm in the fight against sexual assault.
No means no. Means no, period.
It is a clear message. Consent must always be given when partaking in sexual acts. If not, this is considered an offense. Sexual assault can be defined as any unwanted sexual contact or behavior that occurs without consent. On Sunday, police officials reported 2 sexual assault cases in the country. One in the nation's capital, where an adult female says that she was held against her will and sexually abused for 3 days by a man known to her. And on Grand Bahama, another female reporting that she was sexually assaulted by 2 males known to her at her motel room in the area of Kings Bay. Dr. Andy Lang, clinical consultant at the Grand Bahama Resilience Center, says that no means no, even if consent is withdrawn.
Whether the person is sober or whether the person is under the influence, whether the person is high or whether they are not. The moment that individual says no, to persist beyond that point becomes an offense.
According to Dr. Lang, there are 2 broad types of sexual assault: acquaintance rape and stranger rape. Among those, date rape is a common type of sexual assault where the suspect is known to the victim. Date rape usually occurs when the victim is also under the influence of drugs or alcohol.
Things like shame. Okay, a lot of survivors experience a whole lot of shame because of the event. Also guilt. Depression is very common. Anxiety is very common. Sleep disturbances, where the person has nightmares, is very common. As well as post-traumatic stress disorder in a lot of instances.
The clinical consultant also adding that adults who have experienced sexual assault can face various signs and symptoms. Here's what to look out for.
Date rape is a form of acquaintance rape in which the offending individual is known to the victim of the assault. Alcohol, of course, is a date rape drug as well. It is perhaps the most common one that we know.
Victims experiencing these symptoms can contact the Grand Bahama Resilience Center, the Royal Bahamas Police Force, or the Department of Social Services. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shelia Roll.
And still to come.
A finance educator discusses the importance of proper spending. That story, sports, and more when the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, continues.
It has the looks, the style, the performance. Your new car is everything you always dreamed of. Now it's here. Commonwealth Bank was happy to help put you behind the wheel with a new car loan at a competitive rate and fast, friendly approval. It's a service that just comes naturally to us, just like how love of tradition comes naturally to you. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Come on down and see what Dolly Madison has in store for you. Renovate and rejuvenate at Dolly Madison.
Central Grand Bahama, make the right choice. Vote Precious Prosper and Marco Carey JP for local government. Make the right choice. Hashtag Team Central GB. Vote Precious Prosper and Marco Carey JP.
Welcome to the new era of home improvement. Third Dimension is back and better than ever. Discover our latest products and services designed to transform your space. From innovative designs to cutting-edge technology, we've got it all. Your dream space is just a call away. Our team is here and ready to serve you, making your experience better than ever. Visit us today on Yellow Pine Street and see why Third Dimension is your go-to for all things home improvement.
Hi, I'm Pastor Frank Hagan from the School of Prophetic Ministry with a special invitation for you to attend the gathering.
Grand Bahama. It's time to gather for the gathering. The School of the Prophetic Ministry presents The Gathering, celebrating 10 years of Apostolic Prophetic Release on Grand Bahama with a dynamic Holy Ghost-filled conference beginning Wednesday, January 22nd to Friday, January 24th, 7:30 nightly. Day sessions Thursday and Friday at 12 noon. Come and hear from Prophet Eric Bourne Copeland from San Antonio, Texas, Apostle Rick Bethel from Belle Glades, Florida, conference host and speaker Apostle Christopher Russell and Pastor Anna Russell, all the way from Christian Tabernacle, Nassau. And oh yes, come and get your praise on with the Anointed Christian Tabernacle praise team led by Minister Eunice Roll. Grand Bahama, it's time to gather for the gathering, January 22nd to the 24th. Come and receive your miracle from God.
Your number one team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
Welcome back. With inflation continuing to strain household budgets, a local financial educator is urging Bahamians to prioritize savings in these challenging times. She also warns that as digitization increases, so does the risk of fraud, particularly among the elderly. In this report with our Raven Davis, she shares expert tips on how to protect yourselves from financial scams.
Since the global recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic began in 2021, high inflation has disrupted economies and stretched household budgets. Fast forward to 2025, and a local certified financial educator is warning that inflation is showing no signs of cooling down on a micro and macroeconomic level.
Inflation is going to continue because beyond just dealing with the natural progression of prices increasing, we import everything. And the fact that we import everything, we cannot control the shipping costs. We can't control those additional costs that impact that. So the only thing we can do is look at how we can prepare from a point of view of planning.
That is why, she says, in terms of finances, the primary goal should be building a strong savings cushion.
Savings from a perspective of emergency funds, or what I like to call a no worries fund. Also looking at beyond just emergencies, looking at how you could provide savings in sinking funds. And what that talks about or looks like is looking at your annual payments, your annual expenses, and instead of trying to cover it all at the same time that it's due, you could now take 12 months, 10 months, whatever months you have before you get to the due date, divide that, and you can save that each month.
One trend she highlights as significantly impacting the economy is the rise of digitization. While recognizing the many benefits of digital advancement, she stresses the importance of remaining vigilant against the criminal element, particularly when it comes to fraud.
Number one, if it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true. Number two, if you don't know the number, don't answer it. If it is shown that it's from outside the jurisdiction, do not answer it. Block it, report it. And then another thing that we must always do is check our accounts regularly. Sometimes we don't want to check the account because we don't want to see the real picture of what's going on with our finances. But this is the time, too, where individuals are able to impact your account fraudulently because they are looking at you, not looking at your account.
Newton suggests that to better protect what individuals have worked so hard to build, we must prioritize financial literacy campaigns, particularly for vulnerable groups like the elderly, though she notes that this training should be extended to the wider demographic. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Raven Davis.
Well, in an effort to provide a healthier alternative whilst advocating awareness for mental and emotional health issues, 2 young patrons are hosting a spoken word competition and open mic session this coming Friday. The Holmes Rock natives Catherine A. Brockbank and Joshua Garvey, both have mutual interest in spoken word and mental health awareness, are inviting participants from ages of 16 and up to take part in a night of relieving internal pain.
And in a day and age where we have so much going on in the community and families and individuals are going through so much, it's an outlet where people can express what they how they're feeling and emotions that are difficult for plenty of people to express.
Through poetry, whether it's through rap, whether it's through public speaking, this is just one of the ways I think the West End Grand Bahama community is going to find very interesting for people to challenge their emotions and also deal with mental health in a different way rather than resort to things that can be harmful to ourselves.
The member of Holmes Rock community, Roy Brown, is a full-on supporter of the effort, encouraging the public to embrace the uplifting effort.
That vision came to them. It didn't come to me. But it is for us to stand behind them and to continue to encourage them. I know I was approached by Mr. Garvey some time back, and he told me what his plans were, and I had to encourage him in it. And I would like to see our entire community stand behind them for an event like this.
The spoken word competition and open mic session will be held this coming Friday, 6 p.m. at Coffee's on the Bay. Tickets are sold at $15 or being sold at $15, with all proceeds going towards the 8 Rock High School. In other news, Sister Mary Patricia Russell Junior High hosting its 3rd annual Mr. and Miss pageant under the theme, Don't Stop the Music, this Sunday at the Bishop Michael Eldon School Auditorium this past Sunday. The 4 female and sole male contestants all are unison agreement that being crowned Miss and Mr. Sister Mary Patricia Russell means a lot to them.
I like to influence other people who are very shy and closed off with other people to show and tell them how to experience their confidence and show it out to everybody else.
It would mean the world to me, as I could help so many young girls to be more confident in themselves, to bring out their inner beauty. And a lot of girls don't know how to do that.
I would love to spread my platform out there to the world, spreading mental health to little children and the awareness. And to me, that's just all I would like to do.
That would mean that I would be able to showcase myself to the world.
I think as the only boy, I think it would mean kind of a lot, because not a lot of males really signed up to do it. So.
Pageant committee member Lukisha Cartwright says the determination from the contestants has been more than overwhelming, but also heartwarming.
For me personally, many of these young ladies and the gentleman behind me, I would have taught them from the 7th grade. And so watching all of the hard work, discipline, and dedication that I've seen them put into it, and being able to see a transformation from the little tiny boys and girls that I watched walk through this gate, through this gate in the 7th grade to what is standing behind me today is completely mind-blowing, because they have put in the work and they have shown their dedication and commitment to bettering themselves.
Now coming away with the crown for Miss Sister Mary Patricia is Selena McIntosh. Jemiah Hepburn followed suit as your Miss Sister Mary top model, and Aiden Ritchie is your Mr. Sister Mary. We say congrats to all the contestants. Jay, what's coming up in sports?
That's a lot, Rebecca, that's a lot. But coming up in sports, high school basketball, I was so happy to see the Beacon School in action. Some pretty talented players, Rico.
Okay, that's coming away next, but first a check on the weather.
Tonight's weather forecast is brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
'Cause it's so beautiful.
See news in the making? Call us at 352-9713 or 359-5167, or you can email us at zns3news@gmail.com.
The Lucaya Service Company urges all vessel operators to exercise extreme caution while navigating the Fortune Bay Canal due to restricted lanes. Stay clear of equipment, markers, and ongoing work during both work and off hours. Lusco thanks you for your patience as they carry out essential repairs to improve the Fortune Bay Canal. The Ministry of Youth is inviting all unemployed youth between the ages of 17 and 25 to join its Fresh Start program. Training choices include carpentry and electrical, welding, hospitality, IT, computer fundamentals, sales and cashing, OSHA, and Bahama Host. To apply, visit the ministry's office at the Region Center East or call 351-6667 for more information.
Are you ready? I'm ready.
I am ready.
I am ready. I am ready.
Ready or not, it's here. That's right, the biggest gospel show with me, Uncle T Baby Boy, on 8:10 a.m. That's right, interviews, greatest songs, praise and worship. It's going to be exciting. We're going to take the Bahamas to the world and bring the world to the Bahamas.
Good evening, ladies and gents. I'm Jay Philippe, and welcome to Sports. First in sports, the Obi Wilchcombe Derek Nesbitt Grand Bahamas Secondary School Athletic Association Junior Boys Basketball League kicked off yesterday at the YMCA. In the opening game, the Tabernacle Falcons Junior Boys got an impressive win against the Beacon School, 54-7.
We executed on defense. We took care of the basketball. We didn't really execute how we wanted in the half court, but this is our first game, so want to give our boys some time to adjust to a new system.
I feel like I played good as an individual, but as a team, we played bad. Because all our points really come off of fast breaks. We ain't spread the court, pass the ball around. I feel like it was a good win.
While the Beacon School did not win the game, it was a moral win for the players and the school.
My team built on defense and the passing and all them score and that's it. And everything. And I proud of myself for playing good. I thought we were gonna have 0 or 100. I pray to God today to get something. In
the other game, Sister Mary Patricia held off Jack Hayward Jr. 45-29 for their first win of the season. Next in sports, LaCarthia Cooper's making a leap to the Division I ranks after a stellar close to her junior college run last year. She'll be joining the University of Nevada Las Vegas Rebels, and she's poised to make a huge impact during a time there ahead Sheen Stubbs, who caught up with the UNLV commit.
The UNLV Rebel is ready for a Division I track and field journey. The former New Mexico Junior College Thunderbird ended her time there as the 400-meter outdoor national champion, while also setting a new school 400-meter indoor record earlier last year. While there were other suitors, the West End product says UNLV just felt like home.
I had a lot of problems with different D1s, but when I find UNLV, I feel like that was just a fit.
She's been putting in a lot of work this off-season working with former Olympian Demetrius Pinder, and each session has her confidence growing by the day, especially with hopes of competing at the World Athletics Championships later this year.
And I've been feeling fast, even in the off-season, it'd be like, I can't believe I'm running fast already. I just pray that I do well in my season and that I have a fast season and that I qualify to go Tokyo in 2025.
The versatile sprinter also finished in the top 4 in the 200 meters at the National Junior College Championships, helping the Thunderbirds win their second straight outdoor title. For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Shane Stubbs.
And that's your Tuesday check on sports. Your Facebook friend of the day is next. I'm Jay Philippe. As always, be blessed.
Welcome to the new era of home improvement. Third Dimension is back and better than ever. Discover our latest products and services designed to transform your space. From innovative designs to cutting-edge technology, we've got it all. Your dream space is just a call away. Our team is here and ready to serve you, making your experience better than ever. Visit us today on Yellow Pine Street and see why Third Dimension is your go-to for all things home improvement.
Good day, good evening, and good vibes to my Power Nation. I hope you guys are doing so good. You know you got it locked in with the one and only Angel M, baby.
What you doing in the sky, girl?
Listen to Power 104.5 FM.
You still listening to the show, girl?
Yes, Angel, I'm still on.
Girl, picture perfect.
Trouble when she turn it. Need your service. Waistline hot like a furnace. Girl, what you doing to me? Doing to me. Girl, what you doing to me? Doing to me.
Tune into Good Vibes with Angel M from 2 to 6 on Power 104.5 FM.
Your number one team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
And that's going to do it for us here in the North. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thanks so much for tuning in. Here's a live look at the Bahamas tonight, coming your way next.
This news is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, the country's top diplomat in the United States and one of the most powerful women in American politics weigh in on the new U.S. president's planned public policies. Also, hear why a former cabinet minister doesn't deem the IMF's concluding statement as daunting as it may seem. And powering up Porter's Key, the government meets in hopes of achieving that very goal. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now.
The Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas' coverage of the inauguration of the 47th President of the United States of America is proudly brought to you by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of Tourism, Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, Rocky Farms Nursery, J.S. Johnson Insurance, Janae's Fashions, Baja Retreat, and the SBDC, the Small Business Development Center of the Bahamas.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the broadcast. Donald Trump's return to office already marked by sweeping changes that saw the 47th president's signature on a series of executive orders, including America's withdrawal from the Paris Climate Agreement. 24 hours later, and the move has already fueled serious concern. In Washington for us, our Devontae Hanna is on the story.
President Trump is now making his way to Washington, D.C. Yesterday, he signed 50 executive orders. Tonight is his first night as President of the United States, and the Minister of Foreign Affairs is now responding to some of those concerns that were raised by experts as it relates to those orders. Take a look.
The next item here is the withdrawal from the Paris Climate Treaty. We're going to save over $1 trillion by withdrawing from that treaty.
That's just one of the executive orders signed by President Trump on Inauguration Day, raising concern in the Bahamas. The United States withdrawal from the Paris Agreement could leave the country vulnerable to the adverse effects of climate change, according to experts. And tonight, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Honorable Fred Mitchell, sharing with ZNS the government remains resolute in its efforts to combat the global issue.
We will continue to work with like-minded individuals and countries on this matter. Within the domestic theater of the United States, again, that's their province, whatever they decide to do. But the science is real, and we'll simply continue working, and we are certain in the longer term that in the best interest of our country, we'll protect our country on the issue of climate change.
President Trump also revealing a new plan to cut back on illegal migration in the United States with immediate effect. Addressing thousands of supporters in the Capital One building on Monday, he announced the closure of the southern border.
All over the world, they're emptying their prisons into our country. They're emptying their mental institutions into our country. It stops as of 1 o'clock this afternoon.
The Bahamas now bracing for an increase in illegal migrants landing in country en route to the United States.
The Bahamas is prepared to meet any influx of that nature and will defend its interests as such.
And Minister Mitchell also clarifying the country has no position on reports of Herschel Walker reportedly being appointed U.S. ambassador to the Bahamas.
Well, there's no nomination before us from this present administration, and the last one, I think, expired when the when the last term of the last president expired, or the last Congress expired.
Officially, he says, regardless of who is president of the United States, what matters most is that they are one of our strongest allies, and he says that relationship remains unchanged, and he's encouraging Bahamians to continue to do their part to ensure that relationship continues to stay the way it is. Reporting from the White House, the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Devontae Hannah. Kushla.
Well, thanks, Devontae. Now, building on those very sentiments, the Bahamas and the United States have cultivated successful diplomatic relations since independence, and that's back in 1973. And our top diplomat in the United States is optimistic this will continue under the new Trump administration. In fact, His Excellency Wendell Jones doesn't foresee any significant policy changes between the two countries under the new U.S. government. Aldaviz Munnings joins us live in studio tonight with more on his interview from last night's edition of The Rundown with Clint Watson. Aldo?
Mokushla, the Bahamas ambassador to the United States, His Excellency Wendell Jones, is confident that the Bahamas will maintain even stronger diplomatic ties now that the United States has a new government. Now, as you may have heard, the newly minted Trump administration has already placed the Bahamas prominently by announcing a potential United States ambassador to the Bahamas even before taking office. It was late last month when former U.S. football star Herschel Walker was tapped to assume that role. Well, the U.S. government hasn't appointed an official ambassador to the Bahamas in over a decade now. Ambassador Jones reasons the sooner, the better.
The cabinet of the Bahamas, our prime minister and his cabinet, would have to approve Mr. Walker coming even before he is put before the Senate of the United States, because this is an arrangement from head of state of the Bahamas to head of state of the United States of America. He wanted, I guess, to give Mr. Walker a prime location in the world. The Bahamas, there are a whole lot of Americans, people even in the Congress, who would wish now to be ambassador to the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Appearing on The Rundown last evening, Ambassador Jones also used the opportunity to list some of the issues the Bahamas needs the United States to address, like gun trafficking and climate change. The Bahamian diplomat also dispelled the myth that any of the Trump administration's new immigration policies will impact Bahamians living in the U.S.
There's a small number of Bahamians in the United States who are here illegally. The vast majority of them are here legally. And they come to visit their families in Miami and Fort Lauderdale and New York or Atlanta, but they go back home. Right. Bahamians love home. Right. Now, the problem that we have is the poaching of Bahamians by the American authorities.
Which is happening every day, and that's depleting our ability to grow.
They take our nurses, they take our medical professionals, our doctors, our teachers, and so we would want them to look again at the extent to which they are really affecting adversely the economy of the Bahamas by taking the professionals out of the Bahamas to the United States.
Now, Mokushla, Ambassador Jones isn't mincing words on the significant contributions Bahamians have made to the U.S. economy. He referenced how the Bahamas is developing global citizens, like those Bahamians working at NASA's space operations, tech in Silicon Valley, finance on Wall Street, and Bahamians representing in major U.S. sports like baseball and basketball. He contends, Mokushla, the Bahamas does have a seat at the table. Back to you.
Well, thanks, Altaviz. Well, U.S. President Donald Trump's hard-stance immigration policy to deport undocumented immigrants generating some degree of concern among Caribbean nationals. It's proposed that countries like the Turks and Caicos Islands, Panama, Grenada, and the Bahamas accept deported foreign migrants whose home countries refuse to take them. Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis has, however, made it clear that the Bahamas does not have the resources to accommodate such a request. And this, considering its long-standing immigration woes primarily with Haiti. Well, when questioned on the issue during her appearance on the ZNS show The Rundown last evening, U.S. Congresswoman Maxine Waters says they've mainly been involved with the issue as it relates to that Ferry Island nation.
For some to want to return those to Haiti who are there for temporary status. And of course, our policies are such that if in fact their lives are in danger, if there's certain kind of violence that's going on, that we should recognize that. And so in recognizing that and talking about what we should do, there are those of us who feel that we should continue the temporary status of those who've been able to leave areas like Haiti, where we know that so much violence is going on.
The poorest country in both Latin America and the Caribbean, Haiti has been rocked by gang violence, forcing Kenya to deploy 217 additional police officers to help fight. Coming up, balancing law enforcement and respect for sacred spaces. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. There's more news in a moment.
Imagine a world where every brand knows your name and every store awaits your arrival. Elite shopping, travel where luxury is a lifestyle and every journey feels like home. Dine where every flavor is just for you, every table reserved, and every moment a taste of perfection. Make every big moment even bigger. Experience banking where wealth isn't just managed, it's maximized. Step into a world without limits. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
No. Hey, look, KFC has an incredible promo.
I already had that for lunch.
Oh.
Quench your hunger cravings and satisfy the whole family with KFC bucket meals starting at just $20. Get freshly prepared golden fried chicken, buttery biscuits, and add your favorite large sides. Bucket meals starting at just $20. KFC, finger licking good.
Whether you're crossing borders or navigating busy airports, with BTC's reliable data roaming, you're always in touch. In a fast-paced world, staying connected is key. Don't miss important moments. Stay connected effortlessly with BTC, wherever your journey takes you.
In the Bahamas, we're connected by more than just our islands. Now we're connected by Sand Dollar. It moves with you across many digital wallets. It doesn't matter if you use Bank of the Bahamas, Cash and Go, Island Pay, Canoe, Mobile Assist, MoneyMax, SunCash, or Omni. Sand Dollar, one currency and many wallets. It's inclusive, convenient, secure, and uniquely Bahamian. Embrace the future. Available for everyone on all Bahamian digital wallet apps.
The news is brought to you by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies.
Our beauty shot today of the Andre Rogers Baseball Stadium, named after the first Bahamian to play in the integrated major leagues. Welcome back. While the International Monetary Fund's recent report projecting a slowdown in the growth of the Bahamian economy is a blow to the Davis administration, which has consistently talked up the country's fiscal outlook, former Minister of State of Finance Shivargo Lang has a more measured reaction to the IMF's news. Lang telling reporters, while it is possible that the local economy will experience a slowing down, he thinks it's likely it will be a significant decline. But that's not to say the IMF's outlook should not be taken seriously, but rather there is room to disagree.
They have their models that speak to what they believe outcomes would be in our economies, and they're respected models. And we have our own perspectives on what we think will happen. So it's not unusual to have a difference, no. And only time will tell who is right or not. But again, forecasting is not a precise science, and so no one ought to look at anybody's prediction as a certainty, but they certainly represent best informed guesses about what might happen.
The IMF's report notes that the country's economy has steadily grown in the aftermath of the COVID-19 pandemic. Growth, it insists, is starting to slow. However, Prime Minister Philip Davis said yesterday that the country's debt largely represents the headwinds his government is facing, but remained optimistic that the economy will continue to grow at a healthy pace. Well, by now, many of you probably would have seen the video of a pastor being arrested by a police officer in a church, raising questions about the balance between law enforcement and respect for sacred spaces. The incident prompting a response from the Bahamas Christian Council, whose president, Bishop Delton Fernandez, condemning the arrest as a violation of the penal code.
Immediately, I wanted to know the why, when, and who. It was really challenging to see an officer having to arrest a clergy in a service. I would assume it was a very egregious arrest that needed to take place. But also the officer must have known that the penal code prohibits him and some of the conventions we signed on for making an arrest of that nature during a worship service. It speaks very clearly to how that should be done.
Now, further investigations revealed that the incident happened in Freeport on January 12th and that the man under arrest was not who he appeared to be. We spoke with Assistant Police Commissioner responsible for Grand Bahama, Alvaro Dames.
We are advised that the individual that was depicted in the video was not the pastor, but he was visiting a local church at the time, and it was creating a disturbance. The pastor of the local church asked for assistance from the police to have him removed from disturbing the divine worship. Officers from the Grand Bahama Division went to the local church where they intervened, saw and spoke to the male individual, advised him of the complaint that was made against him, and he was asked to leave the sanctuary, which he did peacefully, and he was warned of his behavior.
Meantime, recent footage captured of the unprovoked beating of a middle-aged woman making the rounds on social media. But while some may have since moved on with their lives, the victim, though grateful and forgiving, still suffers. Daniel Dean has this story.
Just over 4 weeks post the senseless assault that the nation struggled to make sense of, ZNS paid a visit to 44-year-old Latasha Roll, who says in the midst of it all, the one thing she's grateful for is her life.
I say give God thanks, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be in here. Talk to you guys, to see my family, my kids, my friends.
Regrettably, though, doctors say Latasha requires surgery after suffering 2 broken legs and an out-of-place ankle. How does it feel to transition from having full mobility to now being confined to a wheelchair for however long that will be?
Well, I know I never expect this day would have happened.
Revisiting the assault, painful for Latasha, but she wanted to assure those who watched from the sidelines, even recorded in some cases, there's no love lost and no blame given.
In spite of all of this, that really touched me to know that it's really is a lot of love out there. And my heart goes out to all of those who supported me, all the donators, everybody donated. I can't call names because maybe it's so much. Moment at the time, I really thought that it was no love for me because that no one intervened. I thought in my head, I was saying, God, where's the love? Why no help, or why no one intervened? But I really thank God for the one gentleman God sent to save me.
We spoke with Delano, who recalled hearing the assailant threaten him and anyone who tried to intervene. Still, he did the opposite, citing his broken heart at what he saw happening. Latasha's mom, Louise Bryce, called Delano an angel. In the same way, Bryce has no problem putting her daughter first, even when it could put her own health in jeopardy. Has this incident disrupted you being able to go to dialysis in any way?
Yeah, but I skip Wednesday, but they tell me don't do it because I gotta still be here for the help out, you see. Don't ever skip dialysis.
Latasha looks forward to the day she can walk again and resume her role as the family's breadwinner. Reporting for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Danielle Dean.
Well, thanks, Danielle. As investigations progress into that weekend fire of the Bay restaurant at Arawak Key, vendors are being encouraged to practice safe methods when handling any hazardous material. Agriculture and Marine Resources Minister, the Honourable Jomo Campbell, says for its part, the government's placing immediate priority on powering up Port Dock.
The Minister of Energy and myself we had a conversation because we are feverishly looking to move forward with the electrification on the Portisky dock. That is also something that is a long time coming, and those vendors can look forward to seeing us in the very near future, perhaps even this week.
Stay with us on The Beat is after the break.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Folk Call Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
The Little Caesars Stuffed Crust Pizza. Get more pizza for less money. Only $12. It's a whole new level of pizza with cheese stuffed crust so spectacular that there's nothing left.
Pizza.
A delicious pepperoni pizza with the crust stuffed with lots of cheese and brushed with butter and garlic flavor and sprinkled with Parmesan cheese. Hot and ready Thursday to Saturday between 4 and 8 for only $12. Simply irresistible. And only at Little Caesars.
Pizza.
We're here at the Nassau Village Community Center project, where over the past 17 months, we've hired over 20 Bahamian subcontractors to bring this beautiful project to fruition.
I've been living in Nassau Village for more than 19 years, and to see a project like this bring great joy and pride to me.
This state-of-the-art multi-purpose community center will serve as a crime-fighting initiative in the community. Also help with the education of our kids in this community and a hurricane shelter.
Yeah, and it also shows what we as Bahamians can achieve when we work hand in hand with each other.
We have the technical know-how, and we can pretty much deliver on any project here in the Bahamas or in the world.
Bahamas Private and Bahamian Company, they prove that they believe in Bahamians.
Based on the outcome of this project, I don't think they're disappointed in giving a small person an opportunity to do a job such as this.
The more opportunity they get, the more opportunity we will get.
If you look around and see the work done so far, it just shows what we as Bahamians can do.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station. Open the app, scan the pump's QR code, select your payment amount, and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
The University of the Bahamas is gearing up to play host to a meeting of world-class economic minds as it stages for a second year in a row a major global economic outlook conference. Corval Pyfrom tells us more in tonight's Business Beat.
For the second year in a row, UB's Government and Public Policy Institute is partnering with Philadelphia-based Global Interdependent Center to host this two-day conference at the university's Harry Seymour Library. The focus is currency, central banking, and climate change. Shivago Lang is the Institute's executive director.
The conference will address issues related to, among other things, global economic prospects for 2025 and beyond, prospects for the U.S. and Bahamian currencies, including some discussions on implications of BRICS, perspectives on monetary policy from the Federal Reserve and the Bahamas Central Bank, economic resiliency issues in light of climate change, continuing de-risking issues for the regional banking system.
Lang says this will be a major global economic outlook conference with a lineup of experts both from the local and international circuit.
Your currency, as is the U.S.'s currency and everybody else's currency, largely depends on monetary policy, right? The value of it. What happens to it in terms of appreciation or depreciation. And that appreciation or depreciation affects how you trade.
And with climate change remaining an existential threat, Lang says its place in the discussion cannot be overstated.
The extent to which you have these hurricanes and earthquakes and other natural disasters factoring on people's spending, on people's disaster circumstances, etc., is the extent to which it also affects your demand for currency, and which demand for currency affects the value of the currency vis-a-vis everything else. So they are definitely interlinked.
The conference again takes place February 17th and 18th. The topics to be discussed are timely. The event is free, but space is limited. On the business beat, I'm Corvell Pfeiffer.
And with that, we turn our attention now to LaDon and Desmond for a sneak peek of Access Now. Guys?
Because, well, I know you're excited about the Greek festival, because I'm excited about the Greek festival, and I think I want a lobster gyro, right, Desmond?
Yeah.
Can you take it? Can you get it?
I've never had a gyro. I've never had one. But I'm going to the Greek festival. It's going to be my first time trying one.
Okay.
I'll tell you about it.
Okay, all right.
Sounds good. Stay with us. The National Report returns after the break.
Hello?
You guys had anything to eat as yet? Y'all know Christmas just gone and the rock.
All right, but y'all let me working all day, but what we gonna eat?
If we was by the mall, we could go by Wendy's and get the Dave special for $5.
Yeah, but you do know that the Dave's deal is now actually nationwide, right?
Wait, let's go. Cable Beach right there.
Let's go.
All right.
After 30 years of banking, I've decided to take a leap of faith. I moved from banking into an untapped industry, which is manufacturing in the Bahamas. And now we are standing on 3 acres of land on which we're going to be putting the Bahamas' first end-to-end plastic recycling company, Aiden Recycling and Manufacturing Company Limited. Aiden has 2 arms, recycling and manufacturing.
This is groundbreaking for us. It's never been done before. It really makes a difference, not only in the Bahamas, but even around the world. This is not just a project that we're doing so that we can make a couple of dollars. We want to make sure that it benefits those who come after us. In future generations, we hope that this is a small vision, that they will take it and they'd expand on it. We can have the formula for what it means to do end-to-end recycling in the Bahamas, in the region, and even if we have to export these ideas and thoughts and concepts even into the U.S.
Chicken lovers, listen up. Popeyes is serving it up for you. Get 5 pieces of juicy, hand-battered, bone-in chicken for just $10. That's right, 5 pieces of Louisiana-style flavor, fried to golden, crispy perfection for only $10. But don't wait. This deal won't last forever. Head to your nearest Popeyes today and grab your 5-piece for just $10. Popeyes, where the chicken's always worth the hype. Available for a limited time only.
And that does it for the National Report, but stay close. The Bahamas Tonight continues with Access Now.
Bahamas, are you ready? 2025! Keep the Bible Live Music Group present KB. Why you don't know me yet? KB and friends. The Boatman Show.
All you Rankin Scrape lovers out there, Saturday, February 1st, Keep the Bible Live Music Group invites you out to enjoy some Bahamian culture.
With Colette.
KB and Friends in concert, The Boatman Show.
Saturday, February 1st at the Farm, Marshall Road.
Can't wait to see you there.
The legendary KB and Friends. Just added, Sweet Emily, plus Dino D, Colin McDonald, Irish Store in the Spank Man, The Falcons, Ancient Man, Mama Dish, Shine 242 and more.
KB and Friends in concert at the Farm, Saturday, February 1st.
Tickets on sale at the Beauty Shack. Low location, General 50, VIP 80. And for the Platinum fans, exclusive skyboxes are available. Gates open at 7 p.m. For more info, call ESC Distributors at 394-0819. Let's keep the vibe alive.
Good to grow. Keeping you in the know. Keeping you in the know. God, it's good enough to eat and it's good to grow. It's good enough to eat, that is good to grow.
The Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources, the Ministry of Education, Technical and Vocational Training, and the Bahamas Agriculture and Marine Science Institute signed an MOU to launch the Agriculture and Marine Cadet Program, preparing senior high students for careers in these fields.
Students will have the opportunity to participate in workshops, field trips, and internships with local farmers and fishermen and conservation organizations. These experiences will bridge the gap between classroom learning and real-world application.
Education Minister Glenys Hannah Martin was also on hand for the signing and expresses excitement for this initiative.
We in the Ministry of Education are very gratified at this initiative today because this creates another opportunity for core groupings of young people to pursue areas of their passion. And not just an area of their passion, but one that is so germane to our own collective pursuit and sustainability as a people.
Senior Education Officer Patrice Green and Program Coordinator Romeo Josie emphasizes the importance of this program.
This program is very important for national development of our country. And to the Ministry of Education, we want to be one of those persons who are really grounded in ensuring that our country at large can produce food for the citizenry.
This is an opportunity for those coming behind us to get into those areas, to be able to get in those places as the human resource needed to ensure that the industries expand and grow. And hopefully one day through this cadet program, we can see the Bahamas go from being an importer to world leading in exporting our produce.
The A&M Cadets program operates under a career and technical education model, blending academic and technical training with industry-specific criteria. The program will be rolled out on a number of islands like Cat Island, Long Island, Exuma, North Andros, South Andros, New Providence, Grand Bahama, and Abaco. Keeping you in the know with Good to Grow, I'm Leah Cooper.
Family Islanders set to receive free dental care. The details straight ahead.
A Bahamian making waves in Washington, D.C. We'll tell you more.
Plus, a mentor committed to helping young people. Stay tuned for that.
And coming up in sports, another Bahamian with major league dreams.
The Bahamas Tonight Access Now starts now.
Well, happy Tuesday. Glad that you can join us. Good evening. I'm Desmond Saunders.
And I'm LaDawn Davis. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight Access Now.
Well, lots going on. A lot of headlines from that inauguration yesterday. Impact for local and international. I know you would stay tuned.
I was definitely tuned in, Desmond, and as you can imagine, all eyes were on the U.S. Capitol yesterday, and today our team is there and has more stories from Washington, D.C.
That's right, and we're going to hear more about it. Let's dive straight into the news for you this evening. Saving smiles across the Caribbean, that's the goal of nonprofit organization Great Shape, which was formed after Hurricane Gilbert devastated Jamaica in 1988. During a press conference today, hosted with a long-term partner, the Sandals Resort, Executive Director of Great Shape, Joseph Wright, said he's thrilled to offer free dental care to Bahamians.
We're here for 2 weeks of clinics, dental clinics. And we have roughly 35 providers, that's dentists and hygienists, providing services. So chairs, dental chairs set up, providing always 100% free fillings, extractions, cleanings, fluoride, exams, x-rays, sealants, dental sealants for children to prevent cavities. Sometimes we're able to do dentures, root canals, and some extended services.
Now, on average, Great Shape provides dental care for about 40,000 people annually, is even extending its operations in partnership with the nation's fly carrier to Exuma.
Our goal for the Bahamas project here will be roughly around 1,500 clinical patients, and if we can work out the logistics to do oral health education in some of the schools these 2 weeks, that we would hopefully see maybe 2,000 to 3,000 children doing oral health education, distributing toothbrushes and paste. So that's different than the clinical services that we provide. So if all goes well, maybe 3,000 to 4,000 people impacted.
The Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas' coverage of the inauguration of the 47th President of the United States of America is proudly brought to you by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of Tourism, Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, Rocky Farms Nursery, J.S. Johnson Insurance, Janae's Fashions, Baja Retreat, and the SBDC, the Small Business Development Center of the Bahamas.
Inspiring stories often emerge from the most unexpected places. Tonight, we hear the remarkable story of a Bahamian native whose incredible journey led her to becoming a leader at a global communications firm based in Washington, D.C. Devontae Hanna has her story.
When opportunity meets preparation, that is what you get. From this story, Kival Hanna, a Bahamian living here in Washington, D.C., has been working to ensure that communication has been growing in different establishments and businesses across the world. She shared her story with us just a few days ago. Take a look. Born and raised in the Bahamas, Kival Hanna developed a deep appreciation for community collaboration early in life. Her passion for social impact and economic development propelled her to a distinguished career that spans continents and sectors.
I wanted to do things that helped, one, build trust, build accountability, but also build our resilience. And so my career started at the World Bank, where I worked hand in hand with 20+ countries, governments, advisors, business to really think about how do you make development actually sustainable and meaningful for all.
Now at Edelman, a global communications firm, she holds the position of Senior Vice President responsible for social impact and sustainability. Causes, she says, are near to her heart.
Essentially, working with CEOs and leaders to really help them define what their role in society is as a business. And so everything I do is connected to communication. Communication is the backbone of what I do, but really it's about listening, problem solving, and thinking forward, and thinking in a really smart, effective, and collaborative way.
Her journey from a small island community to where she now stands underscores the power of dedication and vision, which she says she owes all to her family.
When I think about my greatest accomplishments, I would say taking the resources, the talent, the time of my parents and my grandparents who really poured into me all of their treasures and said, go look for me, go look for me. You can do anything, you're highly favored. And so for me, my greatest accomplishments is taking all what they've given to me and giving it back.
Being so far away from home, here's how she keeps herself grounded.
For me, balancing the demands of this job with my own Bahamian culture and roots is, for me, a sign of resilience, of my resilience, and I draw on the strength of my people.
And she's just one of the many outstanding Bahamians that are living here in Washington, D.C., but one thing that they all have in common, they desire to make a difference in the world. Reporting from outside the Lincoln Memorial for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Devontae Hanna.
Braving bone-chilling temperatures, political activist and businessman Cassius Stewart and his wife, Dr. Charmaine Stewart, were among the thousands of guests and dignitaries attending the inauguration of the 45th and 47th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, on Monday. Stewart, an avid supporter of MAGA Nation, says attending the historic inauguration rally at Grace Capitol Hill Church was an unforgettable experience.
Quite striking, though, is that people from all over the world were assembled, not just Americans. There was considerable amount of Asians from Japan and South Asian countries. And there was also a lot of Canadians. There were contingents from Canada, and so on. We had a handful of Bahamians that were there as well, too, which was very interesting. But just to be a part of that historical moment was a wonderful experience. But to get to the stadium was a challenge. The cold, it began to snow, the storm came down, it began to rain first, and so people were standing in line for 6 to 7 hours just to get in.
To see that President Trump was elected and sworn in, and now the work to make America great again begins.
Now that we have a new administration in the White House, a common sense administration that will bring America into the golden age. And I believe that
because we are in the orbit of America, I think we will also benefit from the golden age of America. And so we just have to position ourselves to benefit from all the great things that will come with American prosperity. And so Bahamians just need to brace themselves, become entrepreneurs, try to get access to the American market.
It's a story of giving back to the future generation of Bahamian men through the use of mentorship. With more than 2 decades as a mentor with the Ministry of Education's Student Development Program under his belt, Minister, life coach, and counselor Dr. Donato Todd says he knows firsthand the pressures young men face.
I didn't grow up with a father. My father wasn't there, but today I have a good relationship with my dad, but I knew my mom was there. She was there through the whole ordeal. So for me, I've seen some things. I've dealt with some things in my life. So the thing what really pushed me is when I was working, I watched myself. And so what I did, I wanted to see happen to other young men. And I said, it is possible for it to happen to them.
Todd says these experiences have given him the tools needed to deal with young men efficiently.
And my first job was a pump attendant. So I've been through it all. I went from a pump attendant to head pump attendant, to the cashier, to the head cashier, to the cashier supervisor. I went through every stage, and then I went to management, and then I went right on up to a general manager. You know what I'm saying? So I moved right up through the system. I learned everything, and I realized that while I was doing this, I had a lot of young men where I had to hire and fire, and so in the process of doing those things, I was learning a lot of stuff. You see what I'm saying? So there was sometimes I had to pull a young man, and I said, look here, bro, right now, the direction you're going in, you ain't gonna have this job long. You're gonna have to shape it up.
In a world that often glamorizes crime and rebellion, one prison officer stands as a stark reminder of the painful reality behind bars. West Calic's Forbes sat down with Chief Corrections Officer Godwin Taylor.
A man who has spent 30-plus years working in corrections. Chief Corrections Officer Godwin Taylor has seen it all, the anger, the hopelessness, and the broken families. But it's the faces of young men that remains with him the most, especially those at a crossroad of making choices that could define the rest of their lives.
I would say prison is not a bad place. They're not really focused. They're not really thinking in a right sense, because if you come to prison, nobody who comes to prison, from what I know, wants to come back here, and everybody who was in prison is trying to get back out into society.
He paints a stark picture of the prison life.
You picture yourself waking up on the side of the same sex, with different characters, different personalities, and in a 6x8, and sometimes right now the prison is overcrowded. So sometimes you're in a cell with more than 2 persons. So if you could picture that, and if that's okay for you, and then something is wrong with you.
Taylor's message is clear to inmates. Avoid the choices that may lead to incarceration again. It's a message he hopes that also retains with those on the outside, especially in communities where crime and violence can seem like the only way out.
This is the type of lifestyle you should want to have, because all this is right now is just a waste of time when they could have been out there trying to develop themselves, to try to stay on the right road and be around positive people instead of the negative set of people. Because there are jobs out there, but you have to go out there and you have to take your schooling serious. That's for one. And if some people good with hands, some people good in the class. So if you find yourself in a certain situation where you have You are good with your hands, and then you go take up a trade, because you could go to the BDVI.
With Chief Corrections Officer Taylor's unwavering dedication to rehabilitation, mentorship, and leadership, he stands as a model for those in the field and a beacon of hope for the future. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Wes Calix Forbes.
Great job there, Wes. Still to come, we're going to hear all about this weekend's Greek Festival. I'm excited. That and more when Access Now returns.
Candid Security offer a varied range of security services, including guard service. We do armored service, we do pre-employment investigation, background checks, also vet people for employment. A live business hosted PBX is extremely important to our operation. I don't have to be in my office. I can easily get connected with our clients, my vendors, my NASA office, and with our employees in the field, anytime, anywhere.
We're here at the Nassau Village Community Center project, where over the past 17 months, we've hired over 20 Bahamian subcontractors to bring this beautiful project to fruition.
I've been living in Nassau Village for more than 19 years, and to see a project like this brings great joy and pride to me.
This state-of-the-art multi-purpose community center will serve as a crime-fighting initiative in the community. Also help with the education of our kids in this community and a hurricane shelter.
Yeah, and it also shows what we as Bahamians can achieve when we work hand in hand with each other.
We have the technical know-how, and we can pretty much deliver on any project here in the Bahamas or in the world.
Bahamas Strike and the Bahamian Company, they prove that they believe in Bahamians.
Based on the outcome of this project, I don't think they're disappointed in giving a small person an opportunity to do a job such as this.
The more opportunity they get, the more opportunity we will get.
If you look around and see the work done so far, it just shows what we as Bahamians can do.
Looking at a shot there, it's the Sydney Poitier Bridge connecting mainland Nassau to Paradise Island. It was officially named after the renowned Oscar-winning actor on November 2nd, 2012. Let's take a trip down to North Grand Bahama. Cohort 17 is the first graduating class from the National Training Agency's Food and Beverage Housekeeping Program. The ceremony taking place at Kingdom Worship Center International in Freeport. The 16-member graduating class included 3 males who dominated the top prize awards. Pizarro Brennan won the Citizenship Award for Housekeeping. Kirk Gilbert won the Star Recipient Award for Food and Beverage, and Stanford McIntosh won the Star Recipient Award for Housekeeping, as well as the highest honor, the Executive Director Award. Congrats to all of the awardees.
Well, Desmond, it's time for a live interview segment, and tonight we welcome Peter Malis from the Greek Orthodox Church to talk about the Greek Festival. Peter, welcome to the Bahamas Tonight Access Now.
Thank you very much, Ms. Davis. It's Paul, but it's an honor to be here to represent the Greek community on this wonderful occasion. This weekend, as you know, is the Greek Festival that happens once every 2 years. So it's a huge occasion for us and our small Greek community, our church community on West Street. And that's exactly where the festival is going to be. It's going to be this Saturday and Sunday. Saturday starting at 11 a.m. and ending until everybody decides to leave. And then on Sunday, it starts at 12 o'clock again, and doors close at 9 o'clock.
So what can persons who want to come out and show support to the actual Greek Festival, what can they expect this year, and some of the features they can expect this year?
They can expect bigger and better. Anybody who's been to the Greek Festival before knows that, you know, in addition to all the fantastic food that you can get, the music, the dancing, the drinks, the entertainment, the great vibes, you know, a place for your children to come, a place to sample all your favorite Greek desserts, all your delicious gyros, some people call them gyros, of course. what's going to be different this year is that we have much more space. We have more seats around for people to actually be able to sit down while they're eating. We've really worked and heard people's concerns from last festival about how long it took to get food. So we've added additional places where people can get faster food. And we've cut down on some of the things that took really long for people to get served. So it's going to be more efficient, it's going to be easier, more relaxing, so you can spend more time doing what you want to do instead of sitting on the long lines. So that's what we're really excited about. We've expanded the booths, we've expanded our area. There's going to be a new area for children to go, kind of out of the way in a safe environment, so the parents can kind of relax a little bit. But there will be all of the same fun entertainment for the children. There will be storytelling. There will be education about our Greek community here in the country. You know, we're all proud Bahamians, but you know, our Greek community really focuses around the Greek Orthodox Church and our faith. And for us, we're just so excited as members of that community to share it with the Bahamian people, because it's something they don't know about. A lot of people just don't understand about the Greek people who came here hundreds of years ago, and we're happy to be here.
And Paul, for persons who may not know where the Greek Orthodox Church is, tell us where it is and what time is the festival starting?
The festival starts 11 a.m. this Saturday, but you can find it on West Street, which is right down the road from St. Francis Cathedral. And there will be, the road will be blocked off, so you cannot drive down, but there will be parking at the point where all you basically have to do is go to the point, tell them, I'm going to the festival. They will stamp you, and then you come back to get your car, and they'll see that you've been to the festival. And so that's how you will get parking. Or you can go to Malus and Malus parking lot, which is right opposite the Hilton, and you could just go right into the parking lot there, right to the east of the McDonald's.
All right, Paul, thank you so much for joining us here on the Bahamas Tonight Access Now.
Thank you.
All the best to you for the Greek Festival this weekend.
And I'll see you this weekend.
Yes, definitely so. Amajal Knowles has a look at what's coming up in sports.
And Aiden Johnson signs with the Oakland A's. Details of that story coming up in sports.
Hi, I'm Brent Burrows, Vice President of Retail and Sales at CBS Bahamas and the CBS Pro Store. Not only do we guarantee the best prices on all your favorite building materials, but we're proud to offer the best delivery program in all of Nassau. Whether you buy one box of screws or a truckload of plywood, island-wide delivery is just $5. And for our Family Island customers, we're proud to offer complimentary drop-off to the mailboat of your choice. Visit us today at the CBS Pro Store on Robinson Road and check out our website to set up your next delivery.
Throughout our lifetime, we must all make decisions. No matter how we choose, the right one just needs to be made. Like having J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers as your insurance partner. We've been serving the Bahamas for over 100 years. Whether you need home, motor, marine, or commercial insurance, make the right decision. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance.
Welcome to your Tuesday Sports, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles, topping sports. The Bahamas continues to produce high-level baseball talent, moving on from youth baseball leagues in the country all the way to the professional ranks. Yesterday, Aiden Johnson became the latest young baseball prospect to sign with a Major League Baseball club. The 16-year-old infielder coming to terms with the Oakland Athletics. Johnson, the number 11 ranked player on the MLB's top baseball international prospects list, speaks about his journey.
The road hasn't always been easy. There were challenges along the way, but my mother consistently reminded me to place my trust in God, who has the ultimate plan, and to trust the process. I wouldn't have made it this far without the people who inspired and encouraged me to keep going. My parents, my brother, my friends, the FTF family, and my trainer and mentor, Jose Fortuna. To Fortuna, thank you for believing in me and always asking the question that kept me going. Are you the best? Do you want to be the best? Your guidance has been invaluable. I also want to express my deepest gratitude to my parents, friends, my godparents, and my extended family for their unwavering support. Whether through prayers, financial assistance, or words of encouragement, your contributions have meant the world to me and my brother, and we are forever thankful. Pastor Mario, thank you for your prayers and for covering my brother and me in faith.
Oakland A's scout Steve Sharp says while Johnson's talent is immense, his character is just as great.
And I asked him, what have you learned from living with these Dominican kids in San Pedro de Macorís? And he took a minute to reflect, and he thought, I'm sorry, but he said, I just realized how great my parents are, how incredible the community I grew up in is, and the environment of the Bahamas and the support. And I think he realized that that's not the case everywhere around the world. So, yeah, give yourself a hand, honestly, because most of us have raised children or are raising children, and you got to realize they're a reflection of the people around them, always. So he's a direct reflection of everything you've done for him. Thank you for the foundation you've built. We couldn't be happier with this guy. He's got that interior, obviously he's got the talent, but he's got that interior foundation to really achieve some amazing things.
And that's my look at your sports on this Tuesday. A check on weather when we return.
We seem to remember our athletes when they make us proud at the finish line. Throw a Junkanoo parade when they return home, toss them a few dollars, and then forget about them until the next Members of the prestigious Fourth Estate should never sell themselves to any politician. Instead, keep their hands and noses clean in order to publish or broadcast the unadulterated truth. Well, that's how I see it anyway.
Read as I see it, exclusively at ZNSBahamas.com. New articles premiere on Mondays at 9 a.m.
It's time now for your Access Weather Forecast, and our live weather radar is showing a front boundary north of the area. As a matter of fact, right across central Florida, you can see the showers associated with that moving near to Lake Okeechobee. Well, some of that will move into the northwest Bahamas later on tonight. The front itself should pass through sometime tomorrow morning, and that will be followed by yet another front system on Friday afternoon. Your boating forecast tonight, well, it's brought to you by Live Business, where you're always protected during the worst storms. In the northwestern islands tonight, south to southwest winds ahead of that front. Speeds at 10 to 15 knots. The wave heights 2 to 4 feet. The high tide that will take place at 46 minutes past midnight. And for the central and southeastern islands, look for a southeast flow at 10 to 15 knots. The wave heights 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. Wednesday, which is tomorrow, the winds become northwest to north behind that front. Speeds picking up 12 to 18 knots. The wave heights building 3 to 6 feet. So caution flags will be posted tomorrow morning for the northwestern islands. The low tide that will occur at 8 in the morning with the high tide at 1:41 in the afternoon. And for the central and southeastern islands, pretty nice boating conditions. Light and variable winds with flat seas 1 to 3 feet over the ocean. And on Thursday, for all areas, the winds become east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots. Wave heights 2 to 4 feet. The low tide, that will take place at 9 in the morning. The high tide at 2:37 in the afternoon. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures. And they're brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
It's standing no line. Time is of the essence, girl, and I love to wine. Hey, at the center point, the center point, the center, the center point, the center point, at the center point.
And that's going to do it for your international temperatures brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But join me at 11 o'clock for a full weather update. Desmond and LaDon.
Thanks, Basil. Hope this weather continues straight into my birthday.
Yes, Desmond, it's almost party time. You're gonna bring some cake and ice cream for us?
Party, ice cream, all that good stuff. Just ready to celebrate.
Just ready to celebrate the big, what year?
Not gonna reveal that.
Well, let's swing things over to Matea Cunningham for Let's Talk Socials.
Good evening. I'm on your screen again, which means it's time for Let's Talk Socials. Ready to dive into the latest on your favorite platforms? Let's go. So Instagram is shaking things up again, and this time it's all about their dimensions. Over the weekend, users noticed something different. Instagram quietly updated the aspect ratios for posts and reels. That's right, your carefully curated curated content might not look the same anymore. The new dimensions seem to prioritize vertical formats, even more, with posts now taking up additional screen space and reels adjusting to fit an even taller frame. While some creators are thrilled about the change, calling it a win for mobile-first content, others are frustrated. Many complain that posts now look older or misaligned and cropped in ways they didn't expect. Twitter and TikTok were flooded with memes with people joking about needing a degree in graphic design just to keep up with Instagram's constant changes. Creators have also started sharing quick hacks on how to adapt the new sizes without ruining their aesthetic feeds. But here's the real kicker. Instagram hasn't made an official announcement yet, leaving users to figure out the changes on their own. This lack of transparency has sparked some heated debates about whether the platform's updates are truly for the users or just another push to compete with TikTok and YouTube Shorts. Uh-oh, app drama. What do you think about Instagram's move? Are you team embrace the new or team bring back the old Instagram? I'm Matea, and as always, thanks for tuning in to Let's Talk Socials.
Another great show. That does it for Access Now.
Indeed. Stay tuned for the rundown with Clint Watson live from Washington, D.C.
Good night, everybody.
Have a good night.
Hey, what's up, Mario?
Hey, Dale, what's going on?
Have you seen ZNS new digital platforms?
No. Let me go check it out.
Good day, Bahamas. I'm Devontae Hanna, and this is ZNS Digital,
where we cater to your news and entertainment needs. Are you a foodie? I thought so. Then look out for Digital Bites.
Shining a light on Bahamians and the good that they do, ZNS Digital is home to the sunshine one.
Keeping up with the latest trends, our original content will keep you entertained.
Yeah, that's cool.
But have you seen the new website?
No, I didn't see it. Let me go look.
We're still your most trusted source for news and information.
That's ZNS Digital?
Yeah, that's ZNS Digital, the people station in your pocket.
At the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, I'm Clint Watson, and this is ZNS.
The Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas' coverage of the inauguration of the 47th President of the United States of America is proudly brought to you by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of Tourism, Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, Rocky Farms Nursery, J.S. Johnson Insurance, Janae's Fashions, Baja Retreat, and the SBDC, the Small Business Development Center of the Bahamas.
From this moment on, America's decline is over. I was saved by God to make America great again. For American citizens, January 20th, 2025 is Liberation Day. We will not forget our country. We will not forget our Constitution. And we will not forget our God. Can't do that.
The election of one of the most controversial presidents in the United States of America's history is now actually in the history books. Donald J. Trump was indeed inaugurated yesterday, and today he has completed his first official day in office, and having done that, has signed already some 200 executive orders, bringing, of course, to light some campaign promises of immigration, climate change, health matters, and just the like. Now, amongst that as well is some 1,500 insurrectionists who were all pardoned today, sparking some controversy among residents here in the United States of America. And tonight we have a discussion with a panel of expert Bahamians who are living here in Washington, D.C., who will, of course, tackle the issues and give our take on how this impacts the Bahamas and really how it impacts the entire world. Good evening to all of you. Welcome to Washington, D.C. for another special edition of The Rundown. We are in the historic Watergate building, of course, overlooking, I keep saying it because it's so magnificent, overlooking the historic Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts. It's going to be an exciting show tonight as we take on these issues that are sparking controversy pretty much all over the world. Donald Trump not wasting time. Those promises he is now signing into existence to ensure the United States of America enforces those wishes and promises. Today, pretty much a working day for him to get through all of those orders. Our Devontae Hanna is, of course, live for us down at the White House with the latest. Devontae.
Well, of course, behind me is the White House, where President Trump has been for the entire day fulfilling his mandate to ensure that America's future is bright. We know that yesterday he signed 50 executive orders, and one that we've been particularly concerned about is the fact that the United States is exiting from the Paris Agreement. Now, the Minister of Foreign Affairs is addressing that. Here's what he had to say.
The next item here is the withdrawal from the Paris Climate Treaty. We're going to save over $1 trillion by withdrawing from that treaty.
That's just one of the executive orders signed by President Trump on Inauguration Day, raising concern in the Bahamas. The United States withdrawal from the Paris Agreement could leave the country vulnerable to the adverse effects of climate change, according to experts. And tonight, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Honorable Fred Mitchell, sharing with ZNS the government remains resolute in its efforts to combat the global issue.
We will continue to work with like-minded individuals and countries on this matter. Within the domestic theater of the United States, again, that's their province, whatever they decide to do. But the science is real, and we'll simply continue working, and we are certain in the longer term that in the best interest of our country, we'll protect our country on the issue of climate change.
President Trump also revealing a new plan to cut back on illegal migration in the United States with immediate effect. Addressing thousands of supporters in the Capital One building on Monday, he announced the closure of the southern border.
All over the world, they're emptying their prisons into our country. They're emptying their mental institutions into our country. It stops as of 1 o'clock this afternoon.
The Bahamas now bracing for an increase in illegal migrants landing in country en route to the United States.
The Bahamas is prepared to meet any influx of that nature and will defend its interests as such.
And Minister Mitchell also clarifying the country has no position on reports of Herschel Walker reportedly being appointed U.S. ambassador to the Bahamas.
Well, there's no nomination before us from this present administration, and the last one, I think, expired when the last term of the last president expired, or the last Congress expired.
Well, Glenn, I know Union, yes, we'll discuss some of those executive orders, but of course the minister is saying that he just wants to ensure that the relationship between the Bahamas and the United States remains one that is strong. From outside the White House for the Bahamas, for the rundown, that is, Clint, back to you.
Thank you, Devontae. Yes, indeed, is a rundown. So a couple of things we're hearing for the first time from our Foreign Affairs Minister that I think make some interesting notes that we ought to bear in mind with our discussion tonight. One, that is, we've been having this discussion here in Washington all week about this proposed new ambassador, Herschel Walker, and what does that mean for the Bahamas? This announcement coming early, and we're wondering all about it. Well, the reality of that is, here from Foreign Affairs, no official request has been made to the cabinet, the government of the Bahamas. And then it reminds you, well, yeah, that's true, eh? Because when that announcement... So he now has to formally make that request happen. And I think maybe we're moving a bit faster than he expects us to move, because that hasn't happened as yet. So that's the groundwork for what we're going to talk about. And then, of course, the fact that, you know, immigration, we've heard some things that he spoke about that I think is going to make pretty good sense when we address the issue. We're going to go to a break. When we come back, we're going to meet our panel, and we're going to talk to our panel about these issues. But that framework is important because that's going to go somewhere in our discussion. So our social media, those of you on Facebook, in the Lions Den, those of you who are on YouTube, welcome to The Rundown. We want to hear your discussions. Please give us your comments, and we'll read them as we go through the show tonight. We're back from Washington, D.C. right after the break. Stay close.
The Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas' coverage of the inauguration of the 47th President of the United States of America is proudly brought to you by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of Tourism, Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, Rocky Farms Nursery, J.S. Johnson Insurance, Janae's Fashions, Baja Retreat, and the SBDC, the Small Business Development Center of the Bahamas.
We're here at the Nassau Village Community Center project, where over the past 17 months, we've hired over 20 Bahamian subcontractors to bring this beautiful project to fruition.
I've been living in Nassau Village for more than 19 years, and to see a project like this bring great joy and pride to me.
This state-of-the-art multi-purpose community center will serve as a crime-fighting initiative in the community. Also help with the education of our kids in this community and a hurricane shelter.
Yeah, and it also shows what we as Bahamians can achieve when we work hand in hand with each other.
We have the technical know-how, and we can pretty much deliver on any project here in the Bahamas or in the world.
Bahamas Striping, a Bahamian company, they prove that they believe in Bahamians.
Based on the outcome of this project, I don't think they're disappointed in giving a small person an opportunity to do a job such as this.
The more opportunity they get, the more opportunity we will get.
If you look around and see the work done so far, it just shows what we as Bahamians can do.
Make your company representative stand out through an embroidery design on your uniforms from Janae's Uniform Center, Chesapeake Road. Janae's utilizes the latest state-of-the-art embroidery technology to monogram large and small quantities of shirts, caps, bags, and other articles. If you don't already have a digitized logo, Janae's can design and digitize your idea and bring it to life. Then install the logo of your choice from their large selections of 27 stock colors of golf shirts in cotton or dry fit, caps, or workwear. Call 394-8385 or 6 or visit www.janaes.com.
Let's go. At Frame Studio, as soon as you enter the door, we showcase any individual that comes in there and make it feel like they are at home. The space itself is 1,800 square foot. Our psych wall, which is industry standard also, is 24 feet wide. You could do anything that you can possibly think of. At Frame Studio, under our theme, Now Create More, we look at Frame Studio as a canvas. And any artist know a canvas is blank, and then you create whatever you want to do, right? So we have where you could rent tools. We even have workstations that people could rent out. To anyone inspiring to do what I've done, or what my colleagues have done, or any other journey, I would say to you, don't be afraid. The worst someone can actually tell you is no. So if you have a vision, you have an idea, not everyone will get it. But if you believe in your vision, you believe in your idea, I say go wholeheartedly at it.
For more information about the Creative Entrepreneurs Initiative and the Crafting the Bahamas workshops, email info@sbdcbahamas.com or call us at 461-7232.
The Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas' coverage of the inauguration of the 47th President of the United States of America is proudly brought to you by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of Tourism, Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, Rocky Farms Nursery, J.S. Johnson Insurance, Janae's Fashions, Baja Retreat, and the SBDC, the Small Business Development Center of the Bahamas.
Welcome back to all of you here in Washington, D.C., the Rundown. And, of course, our discussion centers around those executive orders signed by President Donald Trump, the implications on countries like the Bahamas and around the world. And, of course, the discussion tonight, I think we're going to be having an exciting discussion by two astute gentlemen who perhaps knows it better than most of us. They're Bahamians living here in Washington, D.C. and making major ways in their positions. My guest tonight, my first guest is, of course, the Ambassador and Permanent Representative of the Bahamas to the Organization of American States, Mr. Chet Nemore, and, of course, Mr. Austin Cooper, President of Cooper Strategic Affairs Incorporated, the firm that provides legislative, political, and communication counsel in Washington. Gentlemen, welcome to The Rundown. It is my pleasure to have both of you here.
Thank you. Looking forward to speaking with you.
So, I think let's set the framework, right? Because 200 executive orders one day, that's a busy first day. It's a busy first day. But let's talk about some of the ones that pretty stand out to us. I'll read a couple of them off. We already talked about the January 6th pardons. And of course, he pardoned some 1,500 people who were involved in the January 6th riots, fulfilling, of course, a campaign promise that he made that he would do so. Then, of course, there's immigration, reinterpreting the 14th Amendment, which grants citizenship to all born on American soil. Trump ended birthright citizenship by an executive order. And this has already drawn legal action from Democratic lawyers. He also declared a national emergency at the U.S.-Mexican border. And, of course, energy. Trump withdrew for the U.S. from Paris Climate Accord, saying that ends, and they're going to save some $1 trillion on using the term drill, baby, drill. Trump has declared a national energy emergency to increase domestic energy production. Then, of course, on the healthcare side, he's saying there will be only two genders going forward, male and female. And, of course, he removed the United States from the World Health Organization. Federal workforce. He ordered all U.S. government departments and agencies, employees who are working remotely, to return, get back on the job, return to work. You can't work from home, can't work from your bedroom, come back to work. And, of course, TikTok. Trump extended the deadline for TikTok to be banned by 90 days. On foreign assistance, Trump suspended U.S. foreign assistance for review to see if they align with his agenda. That means people who get foreign aid and foreign assistance, he's going to now review that, and it's going to stop if you don't believe it aligns with his agenda. External revenue services. This was established to collect tariffs and other revenues from other nations. We heard them talking about that with Canada, some other nations as well. Will we be impacted by that? And then, of course, restoring names. Trump restored names that honor American greatness, all right? He established a Department of Government Efficiency, designated cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, restored the death penalty to protect public safety, reformed federal hiring process, rescissions of harmful execution orders done by previous presidents, ordered to hold former government officials accountable for elections interference. You talked about that not happening anymore. So it's a busy first day. Gentlemen, what say you? What of what I've read stands out to you the most that I guess kind of stirs your mind of thinking when you think about these executive orders? Let's begin with you, Mr. Cooper.
Thank you again for the invite. You know, what first stands out of all of the 200 or so executive orders that the president has signed in his first 24, I guess almost 30 hours since he was sworn in, what stands out the most is, to me, the most offensive, and many of them are offensive, but the most offensive to me is to pardon the 1,500 insurrectionists. What happened on January 6, 2021 was illegal. It was a sitting president of the United States, a sitting, not a former, not a future, a sitting president of the United States who directed, even if it was indirectly, directed those people to head to the Capitol. Look, it's nothing wrong with protesting peacefully. They did not break the law by protesting right over here on the National Mall. They did not break the law by marching a mile and a half up to the Capitol. But that's where it should have stopped. It was illegal to enter the Capitol grounds that day. And to do what they did, Clint and Excellency, over 145 police officers were seriously injured.
One losing his life.
One losing his life. 2 or 3 others committed suicide within the 72, 96 hours after that, through depression, shock. I have a cousin from the Bahamas who is a Capitol Hill police officer.
Wow.
He was not at the Capitol, but he was across the street on duty at one of the House office buildings. So, you know, for me, this was personal, not only as an American, personal because I have a relative, you know, our homeboy who was there, and just offensive. Elections, this is a democracy. And what should have happened in 2020 should have been a smooth transfer of power, and it was not. What we witnessed with former President Biden, what happened, you know, yesterday, and he with the former vice president, that is how a democracy works.
Let me ask you, because I want, if people heard him through the campaign, he was gearing up to do this. Does this come as a surprise to Americans that this happened?
No, not at all, not at all. Look, I think it was the poet Maya Angelou who once said that when someone tells you who they are, believe them the first time. You know, we have known Donald Trump. In 1972, under a Republican administration, Richard Nixon, he and his father in their real estate business was sued in New York State by the U.S. Department of Justice for discriminating against blacks. This is 1972. When he was elected in 2016, you know, one might say that it was, you know, a fluke. You know, people didn't really know, you know, they watched The Apprentice and thought he was a successful businessman. But what happened last year, November 5th, no excuse. No excuse. These orders, what he's going to be doing moving forward, was spelled out in Project 2025. And these, as you referenced, Clint, are issues that he campaigned on. So no one should be surprised that on day one, these 1,500 insurrectionists were released. And mark my word, before the end of February, maybe before the end of the month, he's going to have these protesters who have been released today at the White House. They're going to be honored and they're going to be celebrated as heroes.
Wow. Ambassador, I want to bring you in because there are a couple of these executive orders that impact in our diplomatic relations internationally as international agencies and bodies. The World Health Organization has done an amazing job for countries around the world when it comes to the health and it comes to the pandemic. And they've done a yeoman's job. There are other platforms. We talk about migration, where we have issues going on in countries like Haiti, where the instability, people cannot be returned to those locations, and yet there is this plan of mass deportations. You are our representative at an international body. Any of these things concern you, or at least raise some flags for you as to how this is going to come across and the impact of it?
Well, firstly, thank you ever so much for having me as a guest on the rundown. I think the first thing we'd want to say is, you know, we approach our relationship with the United States, which is an indispensable relationship. We have a very close relationship and we have a partnership with the United States. Within the multilateral sphere, they play a considerable role. They have post World War II had taken on a neoliberalism approach where they were leadership. What we're seeing through some of the recent actions appears to be a little bit more of a unilateral approach, an individualistic approach. But there are some features that are reminiscent of the traditional American hegemony, meaning that you see the conversations about the 2017 tax cuts. You see the conversations about the changes in some economic initiatives. So there are some of those mainstay American features. The American first approach that we're seeing right now is something that we don't, you know, the Bahamas doesn't get involved with the domestic affairs of any country, but we continue to monitor these developments. You'd mentioned the swath of executive orders. There are some that stand out that comes into the realm of the multilateral sphere, and there are some that we attend to bilaterally. But you started out, and thank you so much for establishing the framework, because it's the framework that we have to operate within.
Yeah.
And a number of these initiatives, you and guests, my colleague here, Mr. Cooper, mentioned that we're coming off of a heated campaign. And we approach this, we have to be very practical. When you come up off a campaign, campaigns inspire. Executive orders aspire. And governments implement. So how do we get those three to come together? We're seeing a first stage. Many of these executive orders require congressional approvals. They also require heavy movements in internal operations. So it's not something that you can spin around at the drop of a dime or at the signing of a pen. There are some certain actions that are, reactions take place, and some institutional mechanisms move a little bit quicker than others.
So you're saying just signing these executive orders won't be it for some of these areas that are being addressed?
What I'm really saying is that we need to take a look at the details. Take, for instance, you mentioned WHO. I served as the ambassador to the United Nations during a period when the Trump administration was in. During a period when we signed on to COVAX, and WHO was charged with the distribution, and there were bottlenecks. So the actions that some member states took was, you say that I'm going to withdraw because I want you to take immediate action. I want you to respond. In order for you to withdraw from some of these mechanisms, there are statutes, provisions. WHO, I think it's Article 7, requires 1 year's cooling off period. So it's not something, again, you sign it, you also have to advise officially the Director General or the WHO directly, this is my intention, and you have 1 year for that process to unfold.
What are some of the advantages of being a part of WHO? You served, obviously, as our ambassador under the Trump first administration. What are some of the advantages of these international organizations?
Well, the irony as well is I'm now the ambassador to the OAS, and the regional entity that is PAHO, which essentially gets some of its inventions, gets some of its thrust from WHO. You leave yourself exposed, and I think COVID served as the prime example as to why you need a WHO. You may deal with an epidemic. An epidemic is something that is probably controllable on certain spheres, certain continents. A pandemic, the mere essence of a pandemic, it's worldwide.
Right.
And you need a World Health Organization to deal with world health issues. Withdrawal from that may well serve as a economic, financial sort of carrot and stick arrangement, and it may well also be a signal to some of these agencies to get your house in order, and it also may also be a concern to the United States as well, because if the United States, being a leader in so many facets, withdraws themselves from multilateral organizations and from being at the table, other countries fill that vacuum.
That's right.
And they may not. I think it was Anthony Blinken in his exit interview literally about 2 weeks ago said while he was leaving, I think it was with the French president, indicated that should the United States withdraw itself and remove itself from being engaged, then that creates a vacuum for partners that does not always have the same type of approach that the United States have, or that has the same mindset, considerations, ethos, policies, and approaches that the United States has. So if you're fearful of there being some other countries coming in and you're withdrawing yourself, then you're creating a vacuum for some group, some country, to some entity to fill the void.
He has nominated in his cabinet who many people would describe as more than professionals, they're loyalists to him. And do you believe that these people cabinet picks, I should say, who are all waiting to be ratified, Marco Rubio, I think was ratified already as Secretary of State, will have the gumption to be able to say to him, no, President Trump, I believe this is important for us. My recommendation is that we stick and stay. What do you think, Cooper?
Well, if they don't, they will learn that they have been dismissed. If we can go by President Trump's first term, they will learn that they have been dismissed, not in a telephone call, not being called to the Oval Office. They'll learn on social media that your services are no longer needed, because he did that with several folks during his first term. Look, I happen to think of all of his President Trump's nominations to date. I don't agree with Marco Rubio on a lot, former Senator, now Secretary of State Marco Rubio as of this morning. But you can't argue that it's not qualified.
Right.
And it's okay to have policy differences with qualified people. Some of these other nominations, for Department of Defense, that's a joke.
What about Health Secretary?
Robert Kennedy Jr. Another.
He perhaps is probably supporting this move to come out of WHO.
Yeah, no, absolutely. In fact, Excellency made a good point in terms of how our withdrawing from these, multilateral types of organizations leaves us exposed. You referenced COVID-19. That number 19 wasn't just pulled out of thin air. There were previously 18 versions of COVID. So who to say there won't be another strain of COVID or some other issue that can become a global pandemic again? One reason that we were so ill prepared with COVID was I forgot what the disease was, the Ebola during the Obama administration, and President Obama put together a worldwide coalition similar to the World Health Organization, and that was key to the Ebola numbers remaining relatively low here in the United States and globally. One of the first things that President Trump did on day one and day two of his first term was to dismantle that and to defund that. And the rest, as they say, is history. Look, he won the election. Wasn't my choice, but he won the election. I don't believe the election was stolen. I think he won fairly the election. He's entitled to nominate whomever he wants. But he has a responsibility to the American people to nominate not just loyalists, but people who are qualified and who are not jokes.
We're going to go to a break. When we come back, I want to talk about some of these orders that impact the Bahamas, or that could potentially trickle down and have an impact on the Bahamas, and get your take on that and how do we address it. You're watching The Rundown from Washington, D.C. We're back after this. Stay close.
The Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas' coverage of the inauguration of the 47th President of the United States of America is proudly brought to you by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of Tourism, Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, Rocky Farms Nursery, J.S. Johnson Insurance, Janae's Fashions, Baja Retreat, and the SBDC, the Small Business Development Center of the Bahamas.
Hi, I'm Kizzy Hanna, and I am the CEO of Nail Envy Salon Studio and Nail Envy Academy. My business offers education for beginner level, intermediate, and advanced level nail classes for those persons who would like to become nail technicians, and continue that education for those persons that are in the professional atmosphere already. So our curriculum has already been vetted and approved by the National Accreditation and Equivalency Council of the Bahamas. What distinguishes Nail Envy Academy from the competitors We are really focused on relaying our information in a proper and conducive environment, making sure that our students are getting that one-on-one attention that is needed to be able to send them out into the field and be able to be successful in their occupation. I am so passionate about what I do because I want young women to know that not everyone has to have tertiary education. You can throw your whole self at something and bring a difference to your industry.
For more information about the Creative Entrepreneurs Initiative and the Crafting the Bahamas workshops, email info@sbdcbahamas.com or call us at 461-7232.
We're here at the NASA Village Community Center project, where over the past 17 months, we've hired over 20 Bahamian subcontractors to bring this beautiful project to fruition.
I've been living in NASA Village for more than 19 years, and to see a project like this bring great joy and pride to me.
This state-of-the-art multi-purpose community center will serve as a crime-fighting initiative in the community, also help with the education of our kids in this community, and a hurricane shelter.
Yeah, and it also shows what we as Bahamians can achieve when we work hand in hand with each other.
We have the technical know-how, and we can pretty much deliver on any project here in the Bahamas or in the world.
Bahamas Striping, a Bahamian company, they prove that they believe in Bahamians.
Based on the outcome of this project, I don't think they're disappointed in giving the small person an opportunity to do a job such as this.
The more opportunity they get, the more opportunity we will get.
If you look around and see the work done so far, it just shows what we as Bahamians can do.
Make your company representative stand out through an embroidery design on your uniforms from Janae's Uniform Center, Chesapeake Road. Janae's utilizes the latest state-of-the-art embroidery technology to monogram large and small quantities of shirts, caps, bags, and other articles. If you don't already have a digitized logo, Janae's can design and digitize your idea and bring it to life. Then install the logo of your choice from their large selections of 27 stock colors of golf shirts in cotton or dry fit, caps, or workwear. Call 394-8385 or 6 or visit www.janaes.com.
The Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas' coverage of the inauguration of the 47th President of the United States of America is proudly brought to you by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of Tourism, Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, Rocky Farms Nursery, J.S. Johnson Insurance, Janae's Fashions, Baja Retreat, and the SBDC, the Small Business Development Center of the Bahamas.
And welcome back here to Washington, D.C. on a cold night. I think it's a little warmer than last night, but it's nonetheless cold. All day was what? I think 12 degrees? Was it 12 degrees? 12 degrees. And people walking around like nothing, like it's just another Tuesday in Washington, D.C. But of course, we're having a discussion on these executive orders. I think every media house, we've been watching them even while we're here, is talking and having these discussions tonight about these executive orders and their impact on people, various organizations, and of course the Bahamas, no doubt, any different by that. And my guess is, of course, Austin Cooper, president of Cooper Strategic Affairs Incorporated, linked to the Bahamas, and right here in Washington, D.C. And then, of course, our ambassador to the Organization of American States. He's our permanent representative as well, Chet Nemore, who's been, I call him a career diplomat for us. He's been in the Foreign Service. How many years now, Chet?
18 years in foreign service. Wow, my background is actually in economics. I served 18 years in economics as well.
Wow. Distinguished career.
So Bahamians doing big things here in the United States of America. Let's talk about some of these policies and how they impact Bahamians or the Bahamas. And I think the first one we want to discuss, obviously, is we're going to talk about immigration. Is of course is reversal for automatic citizenship to any child born on American soil. And many Bahamians have benefited from that because their children have been born in America, either by them working here, or by them being assigned to work here, or by them shopping here, or by them just coming over here. And they've been able to benefit from their children having American citizenship. And he's hoping to stop that. And your take on that? Let's begin with you, Cooper.
You know, again, no surprises here. This is something that he said that he was going to do. You know, I find it offensive. I believe it is part of his plan to decolor America. I don't know that he would be as concerned with European countries as he is, I believe, with folks coming from Africa, coming from the Caribbean, coming from the Bahamas, etc. So no surprises here. Your Excellency made a good point. Excellency made a good point earlier. President Trump is if nothing else, he's an excellent showman. He loves to razzle and dazzle, and his supporters are, very pleased with the fact that, and they're bragging in their homes tonight as they head back to their respective locations, having attended the inauguration. They are bragging about the great work that he is doing to make America great again. Many of them not fully understanding the negative impact that some of these executive orders that he signed is going to have on them. So I think a lot of people are in for a great surprise. Excellency is right. Some of these will be challenged in Congress. Some of these will also be challenged by the courts, especially, for example, this denaturalization.
Interesting you say that. I'm looking at the headlines behind us, and we see the networks, U.S. networks, talking about it, that some 22 states have already sued the government for this actual particular action. So people aren't just sitting down and taking it.
No, and and they shouldn't. This is a time, Clinton, Excellency, as you both know, and our viewers, not to be depressed, not to have our heads in the sand, but to stand up for the for the Bahamas, and to make certain, as best as we can, that none of the policies of the current administration or any administration, I would say this if the former vice president had been elected, our job is to make sure or to minimize any negative impact on our beloved country, the Bahamas.
Ambassador.
Well, again, you'll have the devil's always in the details. There is as you had mentioned, I think the article is 14 within the U.S. Constitution. As it pertains to Bahamians, there are a few things that are really attributed to Bahamians when it comes to Bahamians being born abroad. Those circumstances are not always contrived. Bahamians who are born abroad are sometimes born abroad because there were certain medical concerns and they came over for medical reasons. Then there are those Bahamians who are living or working or residing in the United States, and they naturally have a local doctor, and they're able to enjoy the opportunity of having their children born in the United States. Those instances where you think it's contrived that people go abroad specifically to give birth, is few and far between.
Of course.
The other part of it is a lot of these legislations are dealt with at the state level. Then the Bahamas also has a facility, which is a pre-clearance facility, and Customs, Border, and Patrol have been using certain discretions that, again, does not necessarily portend that we will have or have had a greater incidence of Bahamians being born abroad.
In other words, you look like you're about to give it up. They're going to tell you can't come over. That's reality.
Don't even think about it.
Don't even think about it.
Again, these domestic policies, we monitor them, and we give advice to Bahamians who may find themselves in those circumstances, and we try to give them the best advice in order for them to make an individual decision.
I want to start on this next topic, but I probably may have to go to a break because it will probably take too long. But I'll give it to you, and then we'll go to a break. And that is, I want you to start commenting on this first, Ambassador, and that is the Paris Climate Accord. This is, I think, near and dear for the Bahamas. Our Prime Minister has been all over the world championing this cause, trying to get attention, trying to get necessary funding to help the Bahamas. And then this. We'll go to a break. We'll come back, and we'll have that. You're watching The Rundown. We're back right after this. Stay close.
Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas' coverage of the inauguration of the 47th President of the United States of America is proudly brought to you by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of Tourism, Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, Rocky Farms Nursery, J.S. Johnson Insurance, Janae's Fashions, Baja Retreat, and the SBDC, the Small Business Development Center of the Bahamas.
We're here at the Nassau Village Community Center project, where over the past 17 months, we've hired over 20 Bahamian subcontractors to bring this beautiful project to fruition.
I've been living in Nassau Village for more than 19 years, and to see a project like this bring great joy and pride to me.
This state-of-the-art multi-purpose community center will serve as a crime-fighting initiative in the community. Also help with the education of our kids in this community and a hurricane shelter.
Yeah, and it also shows what we as Bahamians can achieve when we work hand in hand with each other.
We have the technical know-how, and we can pretty much deliver on any project here in the Bahamas or in the world.
Bahamas Striping, a Bahamian company, they prove that they believe in Bahamians.
Based on the outcome of this project, I don't think they're disappointed in giving a small person an opportunity to do a job such as this.
The more opportunity they get, the more opportunity we will get.
If you look around and see the work done so far, it just shows what we as Bahamians can do.
After 30 years of banking, I've decided to take a leap of faith. I moved from banking into an untapped industry, which is manufacturing in the Bahamas. And now we are standing on 3 acres of land on which we're going to be putting the Bahamas' first end-to-end plastic recycling company, Aiden Recycling and Manufacturing Company Limited. Aiden has 2 arms, recycling and manufacturing.
This is groundbreaking for us. It's never been done before. It really makes a difference, not only in the Bahamas, but even around the world. This is not just a project that we're doing so that we can make a couple of dollars. We want to make sure that it benefits those who come after us. In future generations, we hope that this is a small vision, that they will take it and they'll expand on it. We can have the formula for what it means to do end-to-end recycling in the Bahamas, in the region, and even if we have to export these ideas and thoughts and concepts even into the U.S.
Make your company representative stand out through an embroidery design on your uniforms from Janae's Uniform Center, Chesapeake Road. Janae's utilizes the latest state-of-the-art embroidery technology to monogram large and small quantities of shirts, caps, bags, and other articles. If you don't already have a digitized logo, Janae's can design and digitize your idea and bring it to life. Then install the logo of your choice from their large selections of 27 stock colors of golf shirts in cotton or dry fit, caps, or workwear. Call 394-8385 or 6 or visit www.janaes.com.
The Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas' coverage of the inauguration of the 47th President of the United States of America is proudly brought to you by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of Tourism, Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, Rocky Farms Nursery, J.S. Johnson Insurance, Janae's Fashions, Baja Retreat, and the SBDC, the Small Business Development Center of the Bahamas.
Welcome back to the show live from Washington, D.C. We're continuing our discussion, getting into it. Right before the break, Ambassador Nemore, we talked about climate change. I think that's the blow. Your response to that?
Well, you know, the first thing is this isn't the first occasion that we've had a U.S. administration withdraw from the Paris Accords. Mm-hmm. As you recall, prior to the first Trump administration, President Trump, President 45, there was a President 44. And President 44, Barack Obama, had made provisions, financial provisions, in advance of his departure that there were resources made available. The focus at this point in time should be on activating, effectuating the loss and damage fund. That involves, yes, you will have the United States likelihood of them not making a financial contribution, but there are activities that should go into place, and we should continue. I think the foreign minister used the word being resolute. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We maintain our leading national interests, foreign policy interests, is the pursuit of measures that will address the climate crisis. We're in a crisis.
Yes, yes.
And how do you deal with the crisis? All hands on deck, all possibilities explored, and that also includes us knocking on the doors of some of the other funding agencies. You have the Green Climate Fund, you have the Adaptation Fund, we were given a menu of agencies and financing institutions that has trillions of dollars out there. So when one door is closed, another door is open. However, we maintain our partnership with the United States, and our bilateral initiatives may bear fruit. You have discussions where you have a multilateral forum that may have, because it's rules-based, there might be some provisions in there that does not meet with the favor.
Right.
So you then pursue bilateral initiatives. The foreign policy approach that has been in place for quite some time, and it applies to many of our small countries, is the exercise of soft diplomacy. We don't have militaries. We don't have economic might. Soft diplomacy includes having direct conversations, having network conversations. I might not know Clint Watson, but I know my good friend Austin can get in contact with Clint, and Clint can then come back to chat.
Right.
So there are many ways and many avenues, and I don't consider this. You know, I'm an economist. There's a theory by Joseph Schumpeter, and that theory is creative destruction. Sometimes, in order for you to be innovative, you have to challenge the system. You have to disaggregate the system and identify those components that work best for you. The job of a foreign policy officer is to pursue national interests.
That's right.
So, you know, we maintain a wonderful relationship with the United States. And as I've indicated to you before, this is a non-consecutive term of President Trump. The Bahamas is a known entity. And we also, at this point in time, may get a listening ear, one way or the other, with a Secretary of State.
Right.
And his state is what state? Florida.
Florida, that's right.
Florida is inundated now in the path of hurricanes.
Yes, yes, yes.
So it's not as though there is, and again, there are other properties. Mar-a-Lago, for example, is in Florida.
That's right.
So there's some things that you do. I like what you gave as an example, particularly as you said, as the diplomats here have to be able to be creative in finding ways that the front door may be locked, and they may put a deadbolt on it, and they may nail a board against it, but there's a way to get through to the kitchen. And you have to be creative as negotiators for your country and figure out, well, you may say this is what the United States says, but when we sit down one-on-one, as two nations together who are neighbors and who have same things in common, we can get some funding, maybe not from that general fund, but from that state. Who may say, listen, we're going to work with the Bahamas because we're right next door and we both need to support each other. I like that because it means that all hope is not lost.
No, I wouldn't, throw our hands up and give up all hope. We have a bevy of a cadre of intelligent negotiators, and I would encourage them to maintain the pathway, the site. Give focus to also identifying where there is in funding, there is contributions in kind. There are technical assistance. There's also, like I said, the focus on building the house. So the only thing that's left for you is to move in. You have a turnkey arrangement when everything is set. So, that's the approach that I would recommend. And as I'm a technician, not so much as a diplomat, but this is the time when the real definition of realpolitik is you adapt to the circumstances. Our ideology And some of our political, ideological differences need not get in the way of our conjoined commonalities.
Good point there. Before we even run out of time, I want to get this last one here, and that, of course, is the pronouncement by then President-elect Trump of Herschel Walker as the new ambassador for the Bahamas. I want to get your take on that, Mr. Cooper. What do you make out of that? And also, does that necessarily mean that Bahamas is on his mind, that he named it first, or should we be concerned that beware, something's about to come out of that?
You know, look, it's not Climate Excellency, as you both know. It's not a president-elect between the time of the election and January 20th, when he, and hopefully one day it'll be she here in America, take the oath of office. That is a time for him to decide who he's going to formally nominate. Mm-hmm. So it was not unusual for him to do this as a president-elect. You know, he nominated, as you are aware, the likely Secretary of Defense. Mm-hmm. He nominated during this time the now confirmed new Secretary of State from the former senator from Florida. The nominee, Herschel Walker, would not have been my first choice, or probably even 100th choice. But again, you know, the president-elect won the election. He's entitled to nominate whoever he wants. I just think that there are more qualified people out there. You know, I was surprised to learn in doing some research that there had not been a U.S. ambassador to the Bahamas in at least 10 years. I think 24. I think, and I happen to know State Representative Calvin Smyrie from Georgia, who was nominated in May of 2022 to be the U.S. ambassador to the Bahamas, and just got caught up in political logjam on the Hill. I'm hoping that with Republicans being in control of the House and the Senate, a more qualified nominee will be nominated and will be put in place and represent the United States in the Bahamas. If it is the current nominee, that's who the decision had to be made on whether you want to accept the nomination or not. But if you do accept the nomination, then it'll be our job collectively to work with him. Mm-hmm. And to educate him. There'll be a lot of education going on with this particular nominee if it goes through, and he will be the formal liaison to the Bahamas from the Trump administration, Vance administration.
Okay, they're running me to a break. Let's go to a break. When we come up, we'll wrap up. Stay with us.
The Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas' coverage of the inauguration of the 47th President of the United States of America is proudly brought to you by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of Tourism, Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, Rocky Farms Nursery, J.S. Johnson Insurance, Janae's Fashions, Baja Retreat, and the SBDC, the Small Business Development Center of the Bahamas.
We're here at the Nassau Village Community Center project, where over the past 17 months, we've hired over 20 Bahamian subcontractors to bring this beautiful project to fruition.
I've been living in Nassau Village for more than 19 years, and to see a project like this bring great joy and pride to me.
This state-of-the-art multi-purpose community center will serve as a crime-fighting initiative in the community. Also help with the education of our kids in this community and a hurricane shelter.
Yeah, and it also shows what we as Bahamians can achieve when we work hand in hand with each other.
We have the technical know-how, and we can pretty much deliver on any project here in the Bahamas or in the world.
Bahamas Striping, a Bahamian company, they prove that they believe in Bahamians.
Based on the outcome of this project, I don't think they're disappointed in giving the small small person an opportunity to do a job such as this.
The more opportunity they get, the more opportunity we will get.
If you look around and see the work done so far, it just shows what we as Bahamians can do.
Make your company representative stand out through an embroidery design on your uniforms from Janae's Uniform Center, Chesapeake Road. Janae's utilizes the latest state-of-the-art embroidery technology to monogram large and small quantities of shirts, caps, bags, and other articles. If you don't already have a digitized logo, Janae's can design and digitize your idea and bring it to life. Then install the logo of your choice from their large selections of 27 stock colors of golf shirts in cotton or dry fit, caps, or workwear. Call 394-8385 or 6 or visit www.janaes.com.
Mailboat service is a critical service to the islands of the Bahamas. Certainly, Andrews has always been there and dear to us. That's where we're born and raised. And so we play a crucial role in advancing the growth and development of Andrews. Customers want service and they want consistency. From the start, that's been our commitment. We work to sail on time every time. Our customers have come now to expect this from us. And one of the biggest challenges we've had was finding adequate funding. SPDC from the very start has been a lifesaver. My advice to young people, if you have a vision, a passion, an idea, go for it. Don't give up. It's not easy. If it was, everybody would be doing it. Be consistent and you'll get there.
The Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas' coverage of the inauguration of the 47th President of the United States of America is proudly brought to you by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of Tourism, Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, Rocky Farms Nursery, J.S. Johnson Insurance, Janae's Fashions, Baja Retreat, and the SBDC, the Small Business Development Center of the Bahamas.
Welcome back. Can you believe it? Just like that, our time has come and gone. We would just get into discussing all of these orders, but our time is up. I want to say a special thank you to my guest tonight. Mr. Cooper, it's been a pleasure having you.
Thank you, homeboy. I appreciate it.
We're so proud of what our people are doing here in the nation's capital of the United States of America. Thank you for being a part of the show.
Thank you, brother, for the invite.
Ambassador Nivor, it's always a pleasure talking with you. When we see you, it makes us know that we have good representation around the tables that matter here in the United States of America. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you ever so much. And, you know, leveraging the diaspora is also a part of the network and a part of the strategy as well that we could employ. So
yes,
we could put Brother Cooper to work.
I like him.
I'm ready.
I like him.
I'm ready.
I endorse that.
I'm ready.
I'll sign an executive order onto that.
Thank you. Count me in.
I've also got to thank all of our sponsors who made this coverage possible. Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Bahamas Striping, Ministry of Tourism, Rocky Farms, J.S. Johnson, Janae's Fashion, Baja Retreat, the Bahamas Small Business Development Center. All of you, thank you for making this possible. It's been an exciting time here in Washington, D.C. We head back tomorrow, back home to the capital, where it is absolutely warm. We're absolutely warm. We'll be back home tomorrow. And so the entire team that's been here, you've been outstanding making this happen. Thank you all so much for your hard work and your effort. That does it for us from Washington, D.C. Back home tomorrow. We will have a package show for you, though, with some of those extended interviews that we've had. You're going to see that tomorrow night on The Rundown. For all of us here in Washington, D.C., I'm Clint Watson. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great night, everyone.
Montague, I'm Opal Roach. This is ZNS.